So welcome. So
Thank
how you
you.
been?
Thank you. Fantastic. Honestly, busy week, but it's the weekend and still busy, but hey, that's the life, I guess. How
What
about
have you
you?
been? Good. It's been a little bit busy because like I'm a track coach and then had a couple meets back to back days. We got
Right,
back
right.
late, and so including on Wednesday, we had a bus had a slight flight tire,
Oh no, God.
and we were an hour and a half away from home, but usually it takes longer with a bus.
Hmm.
And the bus driver was trying everything he could to call, like, any, like, maintenance worker or, get a spare bus from somewhere in the local area, and, like, no one was willing to help out for some reason.
Oh, that's
So but the tire was not too bad in a
mhm.
like, so we figured, like, "Alright, let's chance it, drive real slow to a gas station, pump some air into it, then
Yeah.
drive really slow through, not on the interstate, but, like, back roads, and then meet, 2 maintenance workers who drove another bus to, like, halfway, and then
Gotcha.
flip buses, and then they take a look at the tire. But as we were filling up the tire, or the bus driver showed me, like, it looked like a bolt just went right in there.
Oh,
And luckily, it went in such a angle, like, straight down where the air was not escaping,
oh, gotcha. Okay.
or not as, like, bad. If it went
Yeah.
at an angle, we would have screwed.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Pun intended. But,
Yeah.
um and then so luckily he drove really slow,
Mhm.
and we got there and just switched all the track and field equipment onto the other bus and got there safely. But then he later, like, told me that the bolt was, like, this big down into the
Oh,
tire. So that was a late night. That was, like, we got back at, like, 10:30, and then I had to go to another meet the next day.
oh my
It was,
gosh.
like, there was 11th, 12th grade meet, and then the next day a ninth and 10th grade meet at a different location, around somewhat in the same area, but,
Gotcha.
it was, like, tiring. I mean,
Yeah.
for the most part, but
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it would be. So I'm glad you're still here.
yeah.
Not dead asleep.
So, like, have you been working on in terms of, like, side projects for voice acting and
So, okay, I've literally kind of just started.
oh, just
Um,
started, nice.
well, so I joined the VAC program about, just I think just over a year ago, and then life kind of decided to life really hard. It was a mix between just, like, work and medical issues and all kinds of things going back and forth, and now that it's finally kinda started to mellow out again, I just kind of reintroduced myself and rejoined. So I've been trying to, get into the community and really participate in everything more. So for now, I'm literally just working on getting my profiles up, getting on voices, getting my demos done, DIY demos, of course. I'm not that fancy yet, but I'll get there at some point. So for now, I've been recording a few transcriptions of commercials that I've taken down and slapping some music on them and getting them ready to post. So it's been a lot of great feedback and a lot of great momentum. It's been building quite quickly. So I've got a lot of high hopes for the next couple months. I think by probably mid June, I'll be able to actually get a lot of auditions out there because my job is kind of I'm a property manager, superintendent for an apartment building. So I'm basically always on call, and it's a lot of busy days, a lot of crazy days, a lot of running around, a lot of work, and a lot of off hours work too. So that kind of gets in the way of the schedule a little bit. But right now, I'm hopefully at that point where it's going to be all set and ready to go within a week or so. And then I could start auditioning and actually get out there as a proper voice actor, if you will.
No, it's kinda, like, hard, like, especially when you're starting out, you're trying to balance,
Yeah,
like, work stuff and all that, and, like, that's kinda like well, the reason why I wanted to join because I wanted to do something different. Because
fair.
I told Nate, like, I wanted to try to be a full-time collegiate coach for cross country track, but
Yeah.
seemed like that was not going anywhere, but I was coaching
Mhm.
high school part-time and working with someone with autism full-time, but got
Gotcha.
done with that job after January because I got so burned out by it,
Right.
and so this is the reason I started my podcast. But I stumbled upon Liz and Bray Hales through the algorithm because I did kinda
Yeah.
look up voiceover stuff just for fun,
Fair.
but not even knowing the world of it. quite just based off of like my skill of voice impressions and like people's like you should try dabbling in that world, but and I kind of like did research on it, but then didn't really think any of it. And then the algorithm, of course, led me on Facebook, the advertisements, and then eventually I just caved in and just took it.
Yeah.
But then like life itself, like turned like like I said, like this I got this new high school coaching job, which is
Mhm.
my old high school, and it was a busy job and it just didn't feel like I had the energy to
Fair.
do
Yeah.
it. And every now and then I would get a demo out there, but without any equipment, just like I said, trying to like get past the like when is it like do I feel like should I invest in equipment or should I just try what I can and hopefully
Yeah.
like, you know, things like pick up or but or work on or practice like with this podcast is just practicing
Mhm.
um talking smoothly and maybe like engage with other people like yourself, like getting into the voice acting world or at least like doing it as like a fun side gig.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it makes sense. Because especially networking is such an important part of it too, right? You want to get out there and meet people. You want to be able to put your voice out there online so people can see it in different ways and, see all the different things you can do. And like you said, the practice is huge. I had the peer practice yesterday with Ron Hyatt. Um, last night. And I mean, just 40 minutes, and it was already making me feel a lot more confident in, what I was doing. So, like, having a podcast like this and getting people on there and practicing, such a great idea. Like, just honestly, such a great way to really boost yourself and get yourself going, especially if that's something, you really want to do. Do you mind talking about the collegiate though track teaching? Sorry, I think I'm mixing up the words there. Like what happened? How come that didn't
Well,
click?
I just kept on, like, falling short.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And
Yeah.
I think the issue was I was coaching at a college, but it was a part-time, it was a small D3 college around
Mm,
my area, and it was just and it had a good cross-country program way back.
gotcha.
And
Yeah.
then but I think the enrollment was starting to go downhill. They kept changing their names every like, there used to be, Linden State College, and then they decided to merge with another state college and call themselves Northern Vermont University, like MVU Linden or MVU
Yeah.
Johnson State. And then literally 5 years later, all the, Vermont state colleges were
Mm,
underneath the, under that system were named Vermont State University. So, like, 2
gotcha.
name changes within 5 years, which is I don't think it was, like in my opinion, I don't think that was a good move just because it's like you keep rebranding yourself, and I just don't think it was I don't think a lot of students found that appealing from my recruiting experience,
Fair.
and that's also that kinda hurts is like I was just not successful at recruiting, and when you're trying to apply for college coaching jobs, the big thing is can you recruit? And they might not quite understand the struggles, but still, like, do they know you can do it or not? And
Mhm,
so I think
mhm.
that might have hurt me a little bit.
Fair.
I did get an offer from
Yeah.
another small like college up in Maine, but I was intending to apply for a full time gig. But again, it was with like the in confidence of my capability to recruit. So instead of giving me the full time offer, they gave me a 3 month temporary to see I can do the job. But I
Mm,
was like, no, I didn't apply for that. And so I
yeah.
gave the weekend to think over and I just honestly just felt like I was a little bit blindsided. So I decided not to take it. And so I think like I stopped applying for college jobs like the fall of 2024
Mhm,
and then just like focus on just doing like my normal job and then coaching at another local high school um part time and then obviously I was kind of feeling burned out from
mhm.
my full-time job and I did like it until like the last 3 years it just started getting a little bit more like I don't know unenjoyable I would say. And
Mhm.
so I just felt like, what else can I do if I can't get a full time coaching job? Well, and some like my dad said, you should go look into this whole voice impression or try to be like, content, which is weird because like, I would not expect that kind of advice from him. But like I said, I dabbled in looking up voiceover stuff, but then just didn't really take the plunge at one point, but then obviously keep hearing about getting into voiceover stuff and then seeing the, Liz and Brady Hales or even the Steve Bloom, like, courses
Mhm.
up on
Yeah.
my algorithm, and then I just of course, I did the Hales one, like, the VAC community, because that was constantly repeating on my algorithm going through Facebook, and so I decided just, "Oh, why the hell not? Just take the free course," and then all of a sudden, I bought into the actual course to get onto the VAC website and complete all the modules, and so but obviously, I think I should be practicing more per se, or, like, and maybe invest in some equipment, but
Mhm.
I'd like to maybe hopefully take some baby steps, and also, like I said, like, picking up, uh, a part-time, more of a, like, more, busy part-time coaching gig kinda led to me, like, just getting constantly distracted, and
Yeah.
so it's gonna take some time. If, like hopefully, like, I'm just gonna treat it for now as, like, a hobby,
Fair. Yeah.
and
Sense.
honestly, if I didn't, like, step away the job, would I've thought about starting a podcast? I kinda toyed with the idea, but
Yeah.
since it's like you have all this time, put your energies at least somewhere.
Yeah.
Just bang. So,
Yeah.
and plus, like I said, like, I never met, Nathan before, and that was a great conversation.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it seemed like you guys were really having a good time together. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
that's
so
awesome.
that definitely, like, after the podcast, I definitely felt good about, like, what some of his perspectives,
Mhm.
and definitely felt like, "Oh, yeah," like, for example, the goal being at peace. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I never thought of that."
Yeah.
So, you learn some stuff, and then it just, like, feels like, "Oh," and you can take that and apply it to life,
Oh
and
yeah.
then hopefully, like I said, you're gonna not always be happy, and so I, took that in, consideration. There's gonna be challenging moments, but
Right.
can you be at peace?
Yeah.
That's the and like I said, I know that's really good advice. So you learn that, and then also you feel good about having these conversations. And then like I said afterwards, like, damn, that was really good. It's just I was like, you feel like you're proud, like you don't know somebody, and then you just have that conversation like right off the bat. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's always nice when you have that kind of moment of camaraderie, especially when it's with someone you've never met before, because it's nice for, I guess, social creatures that we generally are, to be able to bond with somebody in that sense and over, a shared goal, or something that you're interested in doing. So it's always really nice to see. So I'm happy it happened.
yeah, and then, and I definitely appreciate people, like, just, like, jumping on board, and,
Mhm.
like I said, like, "Oh, I'm not in the VO industry quite yet." It's like, that's fine because 'cause I'm not either."
Yeah,
Like,
I was
let's
like,
I
like,
just I
oh,
just wanna, like, honestly just get people who wanna be on here and just, like, talk about interesting stuff, and, like, my goal of this is just have variation of topics.
fair.
Even though, like, commonly I've been talking about running because most of the guests have been about running, and somehow it always seems to tie in there because obviously it's hard to avoid talking about certain subjects that you're interested in because, like, that's like I said, running has been part of my whole life, of
Of
course,
course.
and a lot of this life experience ties into that, and or that's the only examples I can come up with,
Yeah,
in terms of certain talking points, like teaching or coaching. Like
yeah,
when you talk about teaching or examples, like, okay, coaching is relatable to that. And um, so I think it was, like I said, it's like it's gonna be a common theme per se. Like, but obviously I want to try to like talk about other stuff other than not trying to keep it dull and boring. And that's what some people like, for example, my brother-in-law,
mhm.
I asked him to be on the podcast because we like always talk about trying to do something funny. And we even like he even had his own like little podcast kit because he's like president of the union
Oh, okay.
for firefighting like down in
Oh,
his
wow,
district.
okay. Oh,
So I think he gets ready for like some like I don't know what he actually has used it for, but we decided to play around with it in his kitchen where and my sister, of course, was getting annoyed because she was trying to cook stuff for the Super Bowl. So when I was down there
of
visiting
course.
before a flight, and but I just thought it'd be interesting to ask him on there. But again, like he asked me, like, "Wait, I thought this was a running podcast." Like,
Oh,
well, no, because so far the guests I've had related to running. My goal is to have a variation of topics. So,
fair,
and then
fair.
of course I told him it's a freestyle conversation. We can talk
Right.
about anything we want.
Yeah.
But he of course he's like, "What should we talk about?" Like anything you want. Like I wanna talk about the IAF, his, like, union district and firefighting. Like, yeah, that's fine. Like, we could do that, but I gotta see the video before you post it. Like, I think he was just like, "Dude, this is not scripted." Like, this but whatever.
Eh,
Like, whatever makes him feel comfortable.
no,
Mhm.
fair.
Or,
Yeah.
like, we're probably gonna be, like, talking like, 2 bros, like
Just two bros just chilling.
yeah, just
Yeah, I hear
chilling.
you.
He even said, like, "Is this cocktail friendly?" Well, it can be.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Well, I was gonna ask it before we started. I was like, because I swear like a sailor. It's something I'm working on. So
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna avoid it as best I can. But
I
forgive me.
mean, it's fine if you let it slip. I have sweared a bit on this podcast, but I feel like I have to clean it up because I was just
Mm.
yelling at my kids for, like, swearing a little bit more often than they should, so I feel like I should practice that even on this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, not a bad
But
idea for
at
sure.
least, I mean, a couple slips is fine. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I feel like when someone just swears, like, every 10 seconds, like, "Alright, yeah, I mean, we can tame it a little bit."
Yeah, you could probably calm down a little.
Like, I mean, I can swear too, but that's the thing I talk to him. I was like, "Hey, guys, if I'm coming from a guy who does swear quite a bit, do you hear me swear around you guys all that much or
Mm,
at all?" Like, "No, coach." Exactly. So if I can do it, you can do it.
exactly.
But, I mean, it's fine if you, like, slip a few swears. It's
I appreciate that. I'll do my best, but feel a little better. And if it helps at all, I hate running. No offense, in the
no.
slightest. So I'm gonna avoid it as best I can.
I mean,
Okay,
no,
thank you.
it's definitely a hard thing to, get into, but if you like I said, most people, like, who hate it, they try to start it, and they just gotta get past that, like, first time barrier or, like, couple weeks barrier, and it really puts you out of your comfort zone, but I think it's, like, one of those hard things to get into, but then it becomes, like, the most easiest thing routine for sure.
Yeah, I
Um
always I always hear that too. It's absolutely right because I have a lot of fit people around me that like to do the running and all this other stuff, and especially because I just started going to the gym there a little bit ago. So it's because I'm trying to get healthier too. That's been part of like the medical things with all the stuff over the past couple of years. But running was like walking. I could walk for days. I have
Yeah,
no problem
washington's
walking.
good.
Love that. But, as soon as it's like I start running, I'm just like, "Hey, I hate everything." Like, I just wanna eat a chocolate bar instead. So it's one of those things that doesn't mesh with me well. But, you're right. It is one of those things that I think if you push yourself into it and move into it, then it's something that I could potentially do one day. But at least for the moment, I will avoid.
Yeah.
Try and get a
I mean, you
variety.
like I said, to, like, get healthy, you don't have to run. Like,
Right.
walking is really just as effective and, like, just going around, like, maybe, like, doing a little strength training, like, at the
Mm.
gym and, you know, everyone has, like, their different perspectives. As long as you're getting out and moving,
Oh, yeah.
that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Like, it
Well,
doesn't like, running is my, like, sort of, like, way of being fit, but that doesn't necessarily mean for everyone else. Like, people are into CrossFitting, Olympic lifting, or like, really building muscle
mm,
and not really focus on much on cardio per se.
yeah.
And there's a lot of people who just like to go out for a walk, and honestly, that's been effective. Like, I've heard a story way back, guy, he's had, like, high sodium levels and just seems like he was, like, struggling with his health, so he just started walking a lot, and it made him a lot healthier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. So, I mean, any way you can do, like, to get yourself at that point is, like, a plus. And it doesn't have to be everyone doesn't have to do the same thing, and then whatever works for someone, just stick
Mhm.
with.
Yeah.
So,
No, you're
it's
absolutely
the
right.
the my number one thing is, like, consistency, just making sure you hold yourself accountable, and once you get in that routine, it's kinda hard to break out of that routine or, like, take a day off, but it's always important to have that recovery day.
Yeah.
But the consistency is like, and I always tell, like, people who train, it's like, that's the most important thing is making sure you're doing something almost daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to
And
make
that
sure
you're
you're
right.
staying on that path and that routine. And obviously, like, if you're training for something, like, for instance, train for a half marathon and you run the half marathon, good idea to take a recovery period,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for a week or 2. Like, recovery is just as important, but, sometimes, like, including myself, might not like to take that day off. We get too addicted to feeling like if we miss a a day of training, we're ineffective, but that's not the case. Like, recovery days are just as important as the,
Oh, yeah.
hard work. But like I said, but still that consistency of, like that routine you keep up on doing. And obviously you can switch things up a little bit, but just making sure that you hold yourself accountable
Yeah.
and just put yourself out there and making sure that like, no, like even if like maybe some days like they'll no, I just got to get up and move. And sometimes when you do that, you actually kind of feel a little bit better
Yeah.
that you did it.
Oh, yeah. You're
It's
absolutely right.
like,
Yeah.
there's times where like, I feel lazy, but then I just like, "Oh, I don't feel like doing this." But then you just like, "No, just go out, you'll feel better. Just give yourself 5 minutes." Like, I'm waking up tired, just 5 minutes and you'll actually not feel as tired.
Yeah, and that's actually, like, literally my mindset too. It's just that because I have quite a few lazy days, I'm gonna be honest. So I wake up and I'm just like, "Oh, I can't do this. I don't wanna do this." But it's just start. Just do something. If you stop after a minute, then at least you started, you know? And it's never happened where I start and then I wanna stop immediately. Like, once I actually get started, then it's like, "Okay, I got it." Like, at the gym, I think it was, 2 weeks ago, I I was having a really, really bad day, like, with the medical issues. It kind of goes up and down. So, I woke up and I was just like, it was just could barely drag myself out of bed. I felt exhausted. I was tired and not wanting to do anything. And I said, "Okay, just get to the gym because even if you do 5 minutes on a treadmill, at least you got out, you went, you did something, you moved, right?" And I'm on the treadmill and my girlfriends are on the treadmills next to me doing their warm-ups, and I'm, like, literally bent over and just, like, I think I was going 1 mile per hour, and I was just one step at a time. They're looking at me like, "You okay over there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just sure I'm gonna make it." So, I managed 20 minutes. I was very proud of
There you
myself.
go.
But, the other half hour of the strength training that I usually do, I said, "No, I love everybody, but I'm going back." So, but it's like you said, it's that being consistent that really makes the difference in the long run. Because just trying to get up and move every day just a little bit, like even though I was still exhausted and I was still just like, I can't do this, I felt better. Like I wasn't as sick feeling, I guess. It was just more of a tired and it wasn't like a mentally tired. I felt
Mhm.
mentally more awake, but physically I was like, okay, we did it. We're good.
Yeah, like,
So,
no,
yeah.
that's gonna happen, like, sometimes your mind and body is not gonna mesh.
Mhm.
Like, you always like, exercise is definitely good for the mind,
Yeah.
per se, but, like, if I feel like I, like, skip a day and even though I could have, like, just gone out and just take an easier run and then, like, a lighter strength circuit,
Yeah.
that would definitely but still, like, feeling like you skip is, like I kinda feel a little, like, itchy, just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I just wish I just" it like I said, it's probably part of that's compulsion, like,
Yeah.
when you start getting really into it, like, man, like, the no day off mentality, uh, but also trying to be better at that to make sure you don't overtrain or overdo it.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
yeah, like, overtraining can just be as bad as undertraining.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I learned that the hard way myself because 'cause I've been overweight my whole life, basically, and I'm in my 30s now, and growing up, I was always like, "Okay, I have to lose weight, I have to lose weight, have to get healthy," and a lot of the time when it was like, "Oh, shoot, I'm gaining too much weight. I need to change blah blah blah." Like I kind of just went overboard and it was restricting calories and it was, working out every single day, never taking that rest day, just always trying. And I mean, sure, yeah, you lose the weight, but then you burn out. And when
Mhm.
you burn out, your body, your mind, everything just snaps and it's like, forget it. We're not doing it anymore. We're just okay, get your comfort food, sit in your bed, watch TV, we're done, and then you kind of gain it all back. So it ended up becoming a vicious cycle back and forth. And it wasn't until I think 2023 when I looked at the scale and I realized I was almost 400 pounds that I said, "Holy, I need to do something." And my mind immediately went, "Okay, work out every day, restrict calories, etc." But I had my niece and she was 6 at the time, and I just remember looking at her and thinking to myself, if I do this same thing again and I lose weight, burn out, gain it back plus, I might not survive. And that's the moment it finally clicked for me that I needed to slow down and do it properly. So my work with, because I was still a superintendent at the time, I already spend most of my day walking around the property. I'm moving furniture, I'm fixing things, so I'm up and down stairs. So I did get a lot of physical activity, even being the size I was. But my diet was just absolute garbage. So I said, I'm just going to focus on the diet, and I'll leave the physical activity the way it is. And over the next year, actually technically the next 10 months, I lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
So it was a huge, crazy thing, but that's what it came down to, was just learning how to get that shift, be more consistent, and just like instead of, okay, like binging on junk and doing all this stuff, it was cooking more, it was doing this, and it was focusing on one thing and fixing that. So the slowing down and the taking the rest days, and so to speak, was what basically got me to that point. So shortly after that, I got hit with all the medical issues that was starting. So that took about a year to get it all like sorted. And now that it's finally started mellowing out, I'm going to the gym now to basically supplement it all, because I'm hoping to lose another 100 pounds by, I think it was February of next year. So we'll see how that all goes. But it's, yeah, it's like you said, it's about, being consistent, not overdoing it, and, being smart about every aspect of what you're trying to do. So whether it's the weight loss, whether it's the running, whether it's the voiceover or anything like that, being consistent and being realistic is such a huge thing to basically be successful.
Yeah, no, and, like you said, like, I hear stories about people, like, just doing that drastic 180,
Yeah.
and it's like your body would be like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 we
Yeah.
never been used," and instead just, like, those small baby steps, like,
Yeah.
I know
Exactly.
some people will just drastically jump right into it, and then, like I said, they get burned out because they just did too much right away, and
Yeah.
then it's just
Yeah.
like, give your body time. Like, when you, for example, maybe start off running, you don't just go try to run 8 to 10 miles.
Yeah.
That's a good way. That's a good way to get hurt because your body's
Mhm.
not used to doing that. Just try it, like, even like just try a half mile first, or at least a mile,
Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
like what you could handle as a beginner.
Yeah.
Like, and then try to like build consistency from that, or maybe do a little core work or something on the side just to add that little, volume of workload,
Mhm.
but then just try to slowly build up, and then eventually, like, you're gradually, like, building that strength. It's kinda like with that's, the Greek I don't know what story, the how to build strength guy carries a calf every day, and then
Oh
just
shoot. Yeah.
tries to, about every day as it
Yeah.
grows older, and then I guess it goes along with, even though that's just a, like, a metaphor story, but, like,
Mhm.
going along, building up the strength each day.
Yeah.
Like, your
Exactly.
calf's gonna get bigger every day, and you're trying to pick it up every day, and
Yeah.
it's supposedly like, "Oh, you're gonna get better naturally," even though you can't lift a whole goddamn cow, but
Yeah.
it's just, if a calf is heavy as it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I one time tried to pick up a calf, like, how you pick up like like a little puppy or dog. I tried to pick it up like this, like, "Ooh," I
Oh yeah.
underestimated that, and so, no, you're supposed to grab it around the legs and just, like, pick it up because it was in a
Oh.
bank, because my parents, like, farm cows, and it was just a newborn calf, and it was, like,
Oh.
going down it was, right on the side of the brook, and there's a nearby, and it was, like, on the bank,
Mm.
and I tried to pick it up like this, like, "Oh, no, there's a lot of," thinking it was gonna be light enough, like, no, and obviously, I hadn't carried calves all that much, but
Fair.
you just gotta wrap it around by the legs and arms and just, like, holster right up there like a
You gotta
squat.
wrangle it properly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, calves are heavy enough as it is, so
Fair. Fair.
picking up,
Yeah.
like, trying to pick up a whole cow, yeah, good way to twist your back.
Yeah. No. 100%. I think I'll stick with the weight machines for now. But
Yeah. No, stick with the weights.
yeah.
Ugh.
So that's
Uh,
pretty. So your parents raise calves or cows?
yeah, they've been,
Pig
like,
farm cows.
farming. They first, like, did milking way back, and I think they stopped that, like, 25, 26 years ago, and I was,
Oh.
like, a little kid.
Yeah.
And then they just were having, like, cows come on another farm, and
Mm.
then just have them, get breaded by a bull they usually rent off,
Mm.
and then they slowly wind down, and then now it's just basically their own cows, and they raise beef, or they sell them as a bull. or some as bulls, or then raise beef, and then just keep the woman cows for breeding. And if they're not breeding, then they turn into like meat.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, and honestly, like it's the kind of the better kind of meat because they're being raised in pastures, not in these
Nice.
enclosed
Yeah.
thing. So that's
Yeah.
the
That's
the
farm raised.
benefit there. We used to name them all the time, and everyone thought that was weird. Like, don't you butcher them? Like, yeah, but then we just like, and then it just became too much, and we just like stopped naming.
Yeah. No. Fair.
We
Fair.
were running out of names. We were running out of names for
Yeah.
example.
This
We
has been
we we, we got really
fantastic.
messed up with like, oh, we're gonna call him Steve because S stands for supper, so call him Steve, or we'll call him uh Lily or Leo because L stands for lunch.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
used to kinda start off with, like, D, S, L, and then we just kept naming after certain people, and but then we just kinda, like, got bored of it or just ran out of names and stopped
Mm.
naming them.
Yeah. There's only so many like junior, the second, the
Yeah.
third, the fourth. Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, it was fun for a little while, like, and even, like, when we were in college, they're like, "It's all you could name this cow this and that," and then but it's just like, oh god, it was just too much to take track of, so,
fair.
like, we just like, "Oh, whatever." And it's like, you're either gonna get sold or get eaten anyway, and everyone's
Yeah.
just like, "Oh god." And we have to careful our humor about people, like, who don't like hearing about cows getting butchered, like, especially, like, people who don't like eating animals, like, "Ooh, we gotta watch ourselves," but
No. Yeah.
or
Fair. Yeah.
watch those kinda jokes around people, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, that's he's gonna turn to breakfast, lunch, or dinner,"
Yeah.
or huge
Yeah. We call this one lunch. We
yeah.
ran out of names.
Yeah, but it's kind of like definitely a hard work. It's like not a
Mm.
lot of and besides like maybe getting your own beef, not lately a lot of reward in farming these days
Mhm.
because a lot of farms are like struggling. Like if you're in
Yeah.
the dairy industry, like I guess they corner the milk prices and it's just like hard to like, make a profit off of it. So I think that's why like I don't know if like you hear about, like, the struggles of farming, but, like, that's why, like, people don't wanna get into it because it
That's
takes a lot of
fair.
work and doesn't feel like it has a lot of reward coming out of it.
Yeah, I have been hearing here and there about just the struggles because it just seems you get all these huge companies that basically buy up all these farms and then they just run them right into the ground to basically mass produce, mass farm, etc. So everyone else gets bought out or I don't know the proper term, but like they lose all their profits because like nobody's buying from them anymore. So
Mhm.
it's yeah, no, I totally get that. It's kind of a I almost cursed. I caught myself, but
Yeah.
it's kind of a, excrement exhibition, if you will. So it's yeah, I hear it because it was actually something I always was I guess interested in is a good word, because I have a lot of farmers in my family, especially in the older generations. Um, in the Maritimes, like farming, fishing, and all that jazz. So it was something I actually grew up around. Well, I grew up in a big city, but I often was out, visiting and everything, and it was always fun to see, and it was always fun to play with the animals, even if you knew they were going to be, sent for dinner. So, but it was just something that I always kind of enjoyed. And one of the goals I had was, if I ever get to retire and if I ever blah blah blah, I would love to just have a little hobby farm with couple cows, couple chickens, just a small little thing, and grow my gardens and blah blah blah. And I mean, even that seems like a far away dream there, the way everything seems to be going nowadays. But I'm holding on to it, so
Uh,
fingers crossed. We'll see. And if it ever comes down to it, maybe I'll reach out and be like, "Do you have a cow?"
yeah. No, I think people, like I heard people, like, start doing that, just, like, raise a cow for
Hmm.
beef or, like, chickens for the eggs and,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
exactly.
raising them in, like, a nice, like, low-key pasture or,
Yeah,
like, chicken
yeah.
coop and not just, like, holster in those, like, big corporations where they just feed them all this junk and,
Mm.
like, chemicals so that, like, it just seemed like it's not good for the animal, and then it's not really good for us, but I feel like when you eat a healthy animal, it
Yeah.
can transpire into us a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
always better to have something like farm reared or pasture raised because it's like you said, they when you feed an animal crap, it basically just fills them with crap, and then that's just crap coming into you. And I think I'm allowed to say crap, so there you go. That's 14.
Yeah, yeah.
But But it's basically exactly like you said, you are what you eat effectively. So if you're eating nothing but junk, then it just makes you feel like junk. And it's something that, like I learned going back to the weight loss and everything was my diet was utter garbage. And it was, eating fast food and McDonald's and Wendy's and all that jazz. And um eating chocolate and sugar and candy and chips and stuff. And it when I finally kind of broke that, I mean, I think addiction's the right word. I know a lot of
Mm,
people don't really talk about how addictive sugar is, but it
yeah.
really is bad. So when I finally kind of broke through that addiction, it was crazy how much better. I think it was like over the course of 2 weeks of not eating, sugary foods and actually like not craving them, that it was like, oh, wow. I can think. I'm not angry. I'm not this. I'm not that. Like when you don't eat junk, you feel better, right? When you eat healthier foods, and that goes for properly raised animals, and or meat from better sources, right? Like you feel so much better than when you're eating stuff that's crap. Like if the animal feels like crap, you're gonna feel like crap.
Mhm.
Like it's exactly like you said. Sorry, I'm just excited I can say crap. So I guess I'm just keep repeating it. But yeah, go ahead.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, the point is, like, and you talk about, like, what's in our food, and, like, yeah, I hear, like, there's stuff in our food that's not found in, like, Europe countries or Canada, and, like, why are we, like, putting this kinda
Mhm.
stuff where it's just gonna make our is it just to make the food last longer? That's probably one reason, but honestly, I think we could go without it, and,
Yeah.
like, why are we poisoning ourselves? And maybe, like, that
Mhm.
leads to depression or a chemical imbalance, so, like, we don't know fully on
Oh, yeah.
what it's, capable of, but, that kinda makes sense if you eat like crap, even though the food is good, and don't get me wrong, I like to indulge on,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
like, a pizza and all that, and especially after a long run, I think there's nothing better than just eating something
Fair, fair.
after running, pretty much anything you eat after, like, a long run is good, but
Mhm.
overall, just, not constantly eating stuff that just has crap in it. It just your body's like, maybe if you're younger, you could get away with it if you were, like, fit, but I notice as I get older, it's like you definitely feel the difference.
Oh,
Like, for
yes. Yeah.
instance, like, I still like to, drink alcohol every now and then, but, I've been on a hiatus for a bit, like, just but, yeah, obviously, I'm gonna go back because I trained for a certain, like, beer mile race.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
yeah, but, like, as of right now, like, I'm just training and just, like, practicing chugging through water or seltzer water, but
Fair.
you definitely I feel the difference between, like, because if you, like, drink and, like, especially if I've not been done in a while, you definitely kinda feel that lethargicness. You
Yes.
feel
Yeah.
like that cat you feel, like, compressed a little bit. Even
Mhm.
if you just had, like, 2 or 3,
Yeah. Yeah.
you kinda feel it. Like, but versus when you're not drinking, you do feel less stiff or feel, like, groggy,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that just comes with age or just like, hey, that's finally catching up with you. Because, like I said, most people when they're young, they can just, you know, either go hard and then the next some people, like, for me, like, there are some days where maybe I overdid it, but then go for a run the next day, no
Mhm.
problem. Feel okay, but I can't do that today.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
I
those
could
are,
try,
those are
but I
tough.
definitely feel like it is more challenging to
Yes.
get away with that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and it's funny because I can't really relate on the alcohol drinking because I do enjoy a drink once in a while, but I'm actually, physically incapable of getting drunk. So in like, when it comes to drinking, apart from the immediate, like, effects of maybe being a little bit tipsy and et cetera, I don't actually get any effects or anything. It's a weird quirk I have. But it's the same thing as you said with sugar. Like I think it was a couple days ago I had a chocolate bar because I was like, I really want a caramel. You're in the States, right? I don't know. Do you have caramel in the States? I'm assuming so.
Yeah, in Vermont.
Yeah, okay, perfect, yeah. So, no, because I somebody the other day was like, "Oh, yeah, we don't have Kinder Eggs and we don't have, like, Smarties, like, this kinda whatever that is," and I was like, What are you guys doing then?" But no, so I said, "Okay, I really, really, really want a caramel," and I went and I got one, I picked one up and I ate it, and I was like, "Oh, yay," I feel better now, and the whole next day, I just felt groggy and, like, tired because that's what it was, like, it's you put that stuff in your body and it just makes you go like, whew. And like you said, when I was in my 20s, okay, cool, no problem, whatever, have this junk and it's fine. I'm still up and going. But now in your 30s, you're just kind of like, okay, that was a mistake. I regret everything. You're just trying to make it work regardless. So it's fun.
Oh, I mean, unless some people are just used to doing it and get by, but I think, like, bad diet can lead to, like, injuries or your body just you're not feeling your body properly, and then that just leads to your body just getting weak.
Yeah.
You don't feed yourself very well, and eventually your body's not gonna thank you. It's just gonna like, "Well, screw you."
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, when you change things up, your body does need to adjust. When people
Oh,
switch
100%.
from, like,
Yeah.
for example, I read this, part of this book called Natural Born Heroes, and it mostly talks about, like, the fatty diet, like the fats, like the healthy fat diet instead of like
Right. Yeah.
carbs the people in uh fighting the World War II on the island of Crete, they were moving around the mountains around the Nazis and they got by doing that by just eating like high fat diets. And
Right.
apparently like they're saying the high fat diet is good for the endurance because apparently fat burns longer. But typically, when you hear about carbs is the
Mhm.
thing. But
Yeah. Yeah.
is carbs actually just being over exaggerated is the question. I'm not saying that's not important, but obviously when people like go from relying on carbs to burn, but then transferring to like high fat diet, the body's still kind of like readjust to it and feel
Mhm.
like crap because
Yeah.
like what are you doing? We're used to being doing this thing, but then you give it time, then the body adjusts, and all of a sudden you feel better.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
really anything is like once the body is like gets used to doing a certain thing and then you switch things up, your body's probably gonna have a hard time
Mhm.
readjusting to that unless you keep that routine going.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's why it comes back to being consistent, right? So, if you're making that change, it's a change that needs to be done, I think gradually. Because like you said there before, when you switch everything kind of like that, it kind of acts like a shock to your body, and then your body is more likely to go, whoa, 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 no, we're not doing this. Like, what do you want about? But that gradual kind of change and shift into a healthier or even just a different diet, right? Like two healthy diets, but switching. It's about being consistent, taking those baby steps, and getting to a point where your body is comfortable with it. And when you do that properly, and it's amazing what you can do.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
you definitely just feel like you could do anything well, not do anything, but you just feel like you're more free.
Yeah.
But like I said, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy something every once in a
Oh, of
while.
course. Yeah.
Like I said, I'll still indulge
Yeah.
and like I said, I will definitely I mean, I have a overall okay diet. It's not
Mhm.
the best, but I feel like for the most part, it's, getting me by, like, I'm eating pretty balanced, but every once in a while, I like to enjoy Pizza Hut,
Yeah.
just enjoy there's nothing wrong with that,
No,
but
exactly.
it's like
Exactly.
like I said, doing it every day, like,
That's
no,
the problem.
like,
Yeah.
it's like not like the Super Size Me guy way back,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you're gonna gain so much weight if you eat McDonald's 3 times a day
Oh,
every
yeah,
from
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
just but it did get me a little bit off put about eating McDonald's, honestly, it did.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, like, alright, it's yes, it's bad for you, but then realize that was pretty exaggerated because, like, not everybody like, that was, like, the extreme
Yeah, exactly. I
level.
mean, he's everything he ate was from McDonald's, so
Yeah.
it was, definitely on the extreme end of things, but, I mean, it's because I used to eat a lot of McDonald's too, like, back way before I started all the weight loss, like, the proper weight loss. I used to eat McDonald's all the time, and it would be probably about maybe 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes twice a day even if I was, like, at work and everything like that, so it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's actually one of the reasons, I quit, eating McDonald's. I actually haven't had anything from McDonald's in 5 years. I've gone to other fast food places, but McDonald's was the big crutch for me, and so I had seen Super Size Me when it first came out, and I think I was in high school? That came out a while ago, didn't it? But, not to date myself, but, so when I first saw it there, it was a long, long time before, but it kept kind of coming back and sticking with me because even though, like you said, it's on the extreme end of things,
Mhm.
I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm not that far off, like when you really think about it, like with how much I've been eating it. So I said to myself, okay, for this month, I'm not eating at McDonald's at all. I said, okay, I'll go to this one or this one. I mean, I'm not a huge fast food person, but I have my two staples that I love, which was McDonald's and Wendy's. But I, yeah, I said, okay, this month, no McDonald's. And the funniest thing was that at the end of the month, um, I said to myself, okay, I made it. I came home after a long shift. It was about midnight, and I was like, okay, I did the whole month, no McDonald's. Let's go. And for whatever reason, instead of taking the turn down to go to McDonald's, I took the turn and went home. And I have not eaten anything from McDonald's since. So it was just kind of a weird, I guess, subconscious thing almost. Like in the back of my mind, I just thought, okay, if I go back and do it, I've undone all of the work over this past month, and I'm probably just going to get right back into it and maybe even get worse. So it kind of stuck with me in a weird subconscious way. So I guess while it was extreme, it worked.
Yeah. I mean, like, sometimes you gotta, like, break out of the habits
Mhm.
but people don't recommend quit it cold turkey, but with, like the thing is about the trick about food is, like, you actually do need it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I keep hearing, like, some things all the addictions, like,
Mhm.
other addictions you can live without, but food is the only thing you can't.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but the thing about McDonald's is it's like what is convenient, but also the issue, it's cheap
Yeah.
and it's all over the place.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it says it feeds 1% of the world, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
But again, like the origins of McDonald's, it used to start. I don't know if you heard the story of like how McDonald's like came to be as a franchise, but and there's a movie about it too called The
Oh.
Founder.
Oh,
It
okay.
stars Michael Keaton. He stars as a guy who he didn't start McDonald's. It actually started by two brothers who were the McDonald brothers, and they just had like one restaurant. And this guy, I think his name was like Roy Kroc, who was just a struggling like milkshake machine salesman, and he like stumbled upon McDonald's and trying to sell their machine. I think they bought it, but then he saw how like a tight shift or an efficient way they ran the restaurant,
Mhm.
and then he like liked what they're doing, so he wanted to be involved. And
Okay.
so yeah, he got involved, but then he like also pitched the idea of franchising. Like, and they said we don't want a franchise because we tried that, and people just didn't stick with our formula. They just
Right.
tried to like sell something else. So,
Right. Right.
but he convinced them and they signed a contract, but a contract where it makes sure that Roy Kroc was not going to overpower their it was like a three-way partnership, but the McDonald brothers had the majority.
Mhm.
And then, of course, Roy Kroc wanted to do things his way, but he couldn't outvote. But then there was and of course, I can't really understand like how this loophole worked, but and I don't know how true it is in the movie, but apparently, lawyer overheard his struggles. Like, you're not in the restaurant business; you're in the real estate business per se. And so
Okay.
some way, I forgot like the loophole, but then some way that kind of like got him more control of turning the franchise, like turn McDonald's into a franchise. And then somehow the McDonald brothers were getting screwed. And even though they like agreed upon loyalties, I don't think they've seen a single cent of loyalties
Oh,
to
okay.
this day. That's what apparently like that was said. But I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what was like said, like in the history or like at the end of the movie, like they got screwed by this guy. It was basically the story of like how the guy pretty much screwed over the McDonald brothers and turned it into a big franchise.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I feel like a lot of these franchises are kind of a dog eat dog
Yeah,
situation, right? And it's just, sure, okay,
but
say
like a
anything.
McDonald's just was a normal burger joint, a local
Yeah,
burger joint,
yeah.
and that probably would have been fine. Like there's nothing wrong with like a like low key burger joint, but and maybe the burgers were a little bit better for you, but
Mhm,
they once you get into that mass production of franchising, they find cheaper ways to do it. Like for instance, one of the things he did that the McDonald's didn't like, they liked to make actual milkshakes, but
mhm,
instead they used powder and made it
uh-huh.
taste like a milkshake, and that's not what they wanted.
Yeah,
But it was quicker and cheaper to do it that way.
yeah.
But when you have like it's what happens when you have that mass produced, you just find the cheaper ways to do things, but instead of the quality of the food but like I said, the stuff they put in it can be addicting anyway.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah,
So and then like I said, it's cheap. It's
yeah,
accessible. Like like, you give, like, $5, like, even, like, if you're charitable and give $5 to a homeless person, they can go into McDonald's and eat it.
Yeah,
And that diet
exactly.
will always suck because that's all that they can rely on.
Yeah,
There's a
no,
little bit of that
exactly.
charity, and that's, like, really the only option, like, which is hence why it feeds 1% of the world, because even, like, someone with very low income can afford eating
Mhm.
it.
No, it's true, especially, like, even today we have, I think, like, the dollar menu, dollar drinks, like,
Yeah.
the value menu, a couple bucks and you can grab, like, a burger, fries, whatever. And it's like you said, people who have financial difficulties, it's easier, it's cheaper for them to go pick up a cheap meal at McDonald's and do something else. Like when I was eating McDonald's myself, I remember I think it was like 20 bucks, give or take. And I would get McChicken, 10 nuggets, a milkshake, and a large fry. So, like that's a decent, like, well, a lot of food, realistically speaking, for just $20. And I think even today, it's not quite off the mark. I mean, like I said, I haven't been in a while, but
Mm.
a lot of my family still eats there, and it's cheap. And like you said, growing up too, like we weren't rich, not by any stretch, right? Like we did all right, but it was the same thing. It was when money was a little bit tight. Okay, let's just go to McDonald's because then we could feed the whole family for less than $40. Right? Like, it's here's some Happy Meals, here's some burgers, and we're done, right? So it definitely is one of those things. It feels almost predatory, I guess, in some
Mhm.
aspects, because like you said, you do the powdered stuff, you do the fake stuff because it's cheap and you can get it out there and you can get the people who can barely afford better food and you're still making a solid profit. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but that's also another reason why I just kind of stepped away from McDonald's. Not that Wendy's is a lot better, but like
Mhm.
Wendy's does have a little bit more of a family connection for me. It's my dad and I used to love having Wendy's, and he passed away a few years ago. So it's one of those things that every once in a while that I'm just having a little bit of a blue day. I'm just like, okay, fine, I'll go get a burger and fries. Just kind of like you said, do the indulge once in a while there. So it's just a matter of trying not to do it all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like I said, it's, nice to indulge, but yeah, you're right, like, people just invest in food because it's convenient, or sometimes, like, maybe your parents don't have time to cook, and then they just
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
luckily, like, we did, like, when I was growing up, like,
Mhm.
I have, like, 3 siblings, and we're all playing sports, and at a lot of them is, like, practice or, like, basketball games all around the same time, and, my mom didn't have time, to cook, so there was one time we were regulars at Subway.
Oh yeah, nice, nice.
And the thing is, Subway is probably better for you, but Subway also was nipple tip thinking, like, eating bread was that good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though, like, convinced you that eating this kind of bread was gonna make you lose weight, but,
Mhm.
I mean, that I guess it was a successful nipple campaign, but
Yeah, yeah,
in general, like, we would go there all the time just because we didn't have, and then it was so sad, why we would walk through that door, the people that worked there immediately like, "Oh, start making it."
yeah, yeah.
Unless they're shocked, "Wait, wait, wait, I want this time." Like, "Oh, wow, really?"
Oh, we're switching it up, I see.
Yeah. So, like, in those kind of retrospects, like, yeah, people, like, might not have the time to cook,
Yeah.
but it's fun. Those kind of things, those are kind of funny moments.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. No, there is a sense like a family, right? Like a bonding, I guess, because you have that time where it's like, okay, mom's in the kitchen, dad's at work, whatever. But when you have those times where it's like, yeah, I don't have time to cook, I don't have time to this, then you're out as a family at least. You're sitting together, you're enjoying each other's company, and you don't have to worry about cleaning dishes, you don't have to worry about cleaning up the kitchen, and it's fast, it's cheap. So it definitely has its good and bad. So
yeah.
and then it's I guess finding the balance is the hard part, but we're getting there, slow and steady.
Yeah, so, like, yeah, but like I said, it's like, obviously it's, like, convenient,
Yeah.
and honestly, I mean, so I guess Subway is better than, like,
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it is
right.
definitely
It's
better.
not great. It's not as good as people say it is, but
Yeah.
I don't think it makes you lose a lot of weight, and
Yeah, no, I always that whole campaign
yeah.
there, I was like,
I mean, I think with a lot of, like, the weight loss, I think they pay people to gain weight, and then they lose it. Like, I mean, of course, what better way to, like, present the Jared guy, like, "Oh,
oh, geez, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
like, oh." like, I know he was, like, the biggest sport, but then, hearing about the, like I
Yeah,
never
oh,
seen
yeah.
the, like, the documentary, but there's a documentary about, like,
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't miss I missed
scandal.
that one, but yeah.
Oh my god. So I was like, "Wow." I bet somebody was like, "Yeesh, time to refresh."
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, let's start over here.
Yeah.
Rebrand, rebrand."
Well, now they, like yeah, rebrand to, like, a bunch of athletes,
Yeah,
just
right,
crazy,
yeah.
man. Even Tom Brady, who
Oh,
was
yeah,
not
yeah.
even yeah, not even who's supposed to, like, eat bread, even, like, they just joke with Steph Curry, like, "Wait, you eat bread, Steph? It's a commercial."
That's pretty good, though. Hey, at least you're being
Yeah,
I can appreciate that for sure.
yeah. So, try to rebrand themselves and try to move away from the Jared
Yeah,
era.
yeah. Let's distance as much as we can there. That was an oops. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get it.
Well,
I mean, yeah, that's why I kind of always prefer like I used to go to a lot of new restaurants. I always love trying new restaurants, especially like the one-offs or the smaller chains. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but there's one around the area here called Firehouse. And they
Firehouse Subs?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, I've been to one,
yeah,
those it used to be one near my sister lived in Southern New Hampshire, and I had one, it was pretty good, but I think
yeah.
it got closed down, but yeah, I had Firehouse Subs once.
Yeah, no, because that's one of my go-tos. Because like, I haven't Subway's another one I just haven't gone to in goodness knows how long, but, I mean, that was no particular reason, I just my sandwiches are so simple. I'm one of these people, I don't like lettuce. I'm not a big fan of tomatoes on my
I
sandwich,
don't like
you know?
tomatoes either, and I didn't like lettuce, but then once I started, like, getting to spinach, 'cause then
Yeah,
you said
spinach is
you
good, I like
more
spinach.
but
Yeah,
then I started mixing lettuce and spinach into, like,
see, no, that's yeah, we can't do
chicken
that
or
now, like,
bacon
the
and
lettuce
all
is
that.
gross. The
But
no, it's funny because I've had so many people give me grief because when I would go to Subway, my order was either, just the meatball sub with just, the meatballs and sauce, I don't want anything else on it, and then or the 3 meat combo, whatever that one was called, the cold cut combo,
ooh,
and it would just be very light mayo, that's it. And they're, "Oh, you don't want lettuce? You don't want tomato? You don't want olives?" It's like, "No, if any of that touches my sandwich, I will cry. Like, please don't."
I feel like lettuce and tomato would not be good in, like, a meatball sub, though.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? Like, I don't know. I know some weird people, I guess, but, like, at least for the cold cut combo, it was always they would always try to throw the lettuce on there, and I would be like, "Please, please," because
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just weird because I seem to be the only one who does this or who can do this, but lettuce has a taste, and it tastes like dirt, and apparently nobody else can taste it.
I guess it depends, like, I can see that. I mean, I feel like there's sometimes, like, I'll eat lettuce and it tastes clean, but I feel like there's still that earthy taste at times.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, I mean, people give me grief because 'cause they're like, "Oh, you need to wash your lettuce better and blah, blah, blah," and I'm like, I can wash my lettuce with, like, using forks and everything like that, and I'll, like, run it under the water and make sure it's completely clean, and it still tastes like I licked the back of my hand. It's just like this kind of weird hand dirt kind of taste. So it's something I've never ever enjoyed, and every time I've tried to have, like, a sandwich with other people, that's really weird. Like, there's nothing on your sandwich but meat and bread. So,
Well, that was my kinda sandwich, I was always a meat lover.
yeah.
Like, I hardly had any vegetables until, every time my mom cooked vegetables, like, I always just had the meat. And
Yeah,
then finally, I think I kinda, like, watched this wandering documentary about a guy getting better because he changed up his diet, and, of course, I wanted to be a better runner. I was like, "Oh, I guess I should start eating vegetables then."
makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So,
so
yeah. So, but
so that
I
is
don't know.
luckily what's that?
No, I was gonna say I always liked other vegetables. It was just lettuce. Like, I mean, cucumbers and carrots and celery and spinach and all that other stuff. Love that stuff. Brussels sprouts, all the radishes. Yeah, radishes. Radishes a vegetable. Wait, no, maybe. Whatever it is, it's good. But like I used to love all those vegetables. It was just lettuce. Any kind of lettuce, could not do it.
Mm.
So it was the weirdest part for me. But yeah, sorry, I interrupted.
No, but, vegetables, it's kinda like one of those foods that are hard to, like, get into because it's, like, the least appealing food group, I guess.
Fair, fair.
Sometimes people, like you can sometimes, like, have to put, like, a little butter on it just to make it taste a little better, but what my mom would do actually would just roast them with, like, brown sugar on there. Yeah,
Ooh,
and that's good.
I
That's
never
really
thought
good.
of doing that. That's a good
Yeah, then no, it's just like you feel like you don't want broccoli, it's like kinda like a little crisp too, like you bake in the oven with like coated like brown sugar, and that's
oh, yeah,
really
it'll
good. Or
caramelize.
you can do like mixed vegetables with cauliflower, carrots,
Mm,
with broccoli. It's like, oh my god.
that's
So that
really yeah,
that does
okay.
make like vegetables seem appealing because vegetables, they don't have much taste, and that's what we like most people like is the like I said, the sugary or the salty taste.
That's fair, that's
Right.
fair.
Yeah, but, like, how can you do that? Like, alright, like, brown sugar, if you don't put too much, maybe it'll be okay,
Mm,
especially if you just, like, bake it in there,
yeah,
but
yeah, it's
yeah,
like
but
a great
overall, just
combination.
eating bland vegetables, and I think that's why maybe some people just and not only that vegetables are a little bit more expensive because you grow them and then that people have to make money off it, but it's also, like, seems like less appealing and, like, people wanna taste something good instead of just, like, something bland.
Yeah.
So how can you eat vegetables where it's good for you, but at the same time, it's enjoyable?
That's
Um,
fair, that's
yeah.
fair. I get where you're coming from, but, like, I don't know, maybe I have noticed a lot of people that don't like vegetables are not cooking them properly, and I'm not saying that's your case at all, or, or that was the case there, then. But because like, I know a lot of people just kind of, they'll boil them, or they'll try and, like, just sauté them for a little bit, with just some oil and whatnot, but, like, every vegetable kind of has I guess a proper cooking method, right? Like Brussels sprouts that are, opened or smashed and baked, with like a little bit of salt on them. They come out like nice crispy outside and then kind of this warm,
Mm,
chewy inside, right? And you get like the Brussels sprout taste, and the salt like just brings it all together without making it salty or anything. So it really is, I think, also, like, the preparation that can really make or break the vegetable. Because if you just kinda boil everything in salt water and then, like, "Ta-da, here you go, I threw some cheese on it," like,
yeah.
it's like it definitely makes it a little harder to enjoy, but, yeah, I guess I'm just one of those weirdos that's like, vegetables are pretty neat, except lettuce, but everything else is pretty neat.
I mean, it's fun to get creative with it,
Mhm.
but like it says, like, it's hard to, like, enjoy something with that kinda bland, but, like,
Yeah.
what you just described, just, being creative with it,
Yeah.
it just makes vegetables seem more fun.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah, and then you feel more proud of, like, eating
That's fair,
that
yeah.
or, like, finding ways of course, I'm not a big cook myself, so but
Yeah.
obviously, if I wanted to, like, cook a little bit more, it would just be, like, something like that,
Yeah.
and just, like I said, just, like, 1, it's fun, and you're more excited to eat it, and then
Yeah.
you're eating something that's good for you.
Exactly. It's that little bit of pride, like, "Hey, I made this.
Yeah.
That means it's good." You know what I mean? So even if it doesn't end up turning out super great, at least you did it, and at least you tried, and now you know for next time. So,
Yeah, and then you just get better, and like I said, people like, like, whatever project, like, whatever work you do, and that's including cooking, you finish cooking a meal and it comes out perfectly, then you feel proud of yourself, and then
yeah,
somehow it could be more enjoyable because
exactly.
like, you did yourself.
Yeah.
But, there's always a saying, like, food always tastes better when someone else makes it or someone else buys it.
Yeah, when it's free. Yeah, exactly. Food's
Yeah,
always better when it's free.
or that's just an excuse for people to, like, take your food.
Yeah, that's true. But in the case of restaurants, I found out that reason is actually butter. So I know a lot of places because I like I said, I love trying new restaurants, and especially like the one-offs or the small franchises. But oh my goodness, some of them you get there and it's just like, wow, this is the most amazing like mashed potatoes or the most amazing chicken or the most amazing whatever I've ever had. And then what's the secret? And it's just literally like half a brick of butter in the freaking
Oh.
pan, cooking it down, and you're like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna come back in like 6 months after I work that off, but I'll definitely be back.
Oh god, like, the
Yeah.
the amount of stuff you can see in, like, the sugar or, like,
Yeah.
the butter in certain things. I think they went over, like, how much sugar's in a pumpkin spice latte, it's like,
Oh gosh, yeah.
yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, you'll feel good after drinking that
Oh yeah,
for
yeah, for about like 20 minutes.
in 20 minutes, so it's just, like, go over and, like, you'll feel like, "God, I feel tired,"
All of a sudden you just
yeah, because
crash.
you just
Yeah.
have a huge sugar crash.
Oh
You
yeah.
might still be, like, jittery, but you're not gonna feel good right
Oh
after.
yeah, yeah. No, it's the bad kind of jittery.
like, I'm like, "Oh, I need, like, a latte," like, me struggling without caffeine, but me with caffeine still struggling, but with a higher heartbeat.
Yeah, I love those ones. Struggling, but faster.
Yeah. I don't think I could drink coffee because I feel like I'm a pretty jittery guy
Oh,
for
yeah,
the most part, so if I have coffee, I think I just struggle bus, and plus I'm not a big fan of it anyway, like, the taste.
fair.
I think you have to, like, really for me, you have to, like, make coffee taste a little bit better by adding the cream and sugar, and that defeats
Yeah,
the purpose of coffee
exactly.
because, like, coffee is supposed to be like that, like, gives you that energy, but when you add the sugar and all that, you're kinda, like, going against what coffee's truly the
Yeah, you may as well have a hot chocolate at that point, like, it's
Oh, I love hot chocolate. I love
oh, yeah, no, trust me, me too. But I'm in the same boat, like, I've never been a coffee fan. I've never enjoyed it. I love the smell, of
Yeah,
coffee,
yeah.
like coffee candles and scented soaps and stuff like that, sure, no problem. But actually drinking coffee, it's it's pretty bad because the only time I did, I was working in hospitality, so I was working in a hotel, and I was actually working between 2 different properties. So for about, I think it was 32 days straight, my shortest shift was 8 hours. So otherwise I was 8 hours, 16 hours. I would go one property, the other property, back and forth, go home, sleep, next day do it again. And the only reason I made it through was because as a supervisor, a manager, I got free coffee and free meals at the cafe and the on-site restaurant. So the barista there, who loved me, great woman, she gave me a coffee and she's like, "Here, have this because I know you're tired." And I couldn't drink it. It was just like it was so strong and it was so like, so she's like, "Here, hang on, I got you." So she ended up making me a macchiato, which is hot chocolate and espresso. So that was so I my entire month-long run of this ridiculous, I never should have done that work, schedule was get in, macchiato, mid-shift, macchiato, get there, and like you said, I mean, I struggled, but I struggled faster, and I made it through. So so that was literally it. Other than that, like, I'll take the hot chocolate and leave the coffee. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I did mix coffee with cocoa mix before, and I recall that being okay.
Yeah, yeah, right?
No, no, a
Yeah.
mocha. Is that what they
Yes,
call a
yeah,
mocha? Yeah.
yeah,
So I was
exactly.
like, alright, like, I mean, I guess I could splurge on that every once in a while, but overall, like,
Yeah.
also the problem with coffee, and if especially have no experience, the going to the bathroom. And I one time got tricked into because I thought cappuccino was something, like, sweet, right? Like,
Fair, yeah, I got
and,
what you
it was, like, my senior year of college, and we
mhm.
were about to head over to a meet, 2.5 hour drive, and like, we had this K-Cup machine, and my brother's like, "Oh, have this cappuccino I made, like, it's supposed to be good," like and like, fine, why not?" And so I drink it, it's like, "This tastes like a crappy cup of coffee." Like, dude, what the It's like, "Oh, that's what cappuccino is, but it sucks." And, like, well, me being me, I finished drinking it.
Right.
I never had to really pee so bad. So,
Yeah, no, oh my
it was
god, I
like,
know.
I like, literally, like, I mean, maybe it's not the worst, but it was definitely one of the worst, like, times I felt like I had to go to the bathroom, like,
Oh, yeah.
"Dude, I gotta, like." And
It
then
hits
for some reason, we didn't really stop for a bathroom break. I should have but I guess I just wanted to get to the meet, but I didn't even wait for the car to get parked. I just said, "Just drop me off in the front of this athletic facility building and
yeah.
just let me go. I'm not gonna wait for the c I really need to go."
You just tug your roll out and like, "Okay,
Like,
where's
no,
the"
just, like, "Let me go out here, you park the van, and I'm just gonna go straight to the bathroom," but, that definitely turned me off from drinking coffee too. It's
Yeah.
like, just the use of needing to go to the bathroom really bad.
Oh, yeah, that month was exactly that. It was just
Mm,
I was in between one angry guest and the bathroom, and that was it. Like, honestly, the entire month I was doing that. It was just insanity. Because it hits you out of nowhere too. Like, you're perfectly fine 1 second, and the next second you're just like, "Okay, see ya." Like, I gotta go. But, oh my gosh, yeah, that's why I never again. So I'm a tea person now.
yeah, I don't drink tea, but,
No, that's fair.
eh, I mean, I don't know, I just don't think I mean, I guess it's like for me, I do like the taste, and I don't know if I find tea tasteful, I guess.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely kind of like coffee. It's an acquired taste. Like
Yeah.
I've never met anyone who likes coffee the first time they drink it. And
Yeah.
the same goes for tea, right? It's one of those things you kind of do every day. But my brother and I, we love to go to this Vietnamese restaurant that serves pho, the soup. Have you heard of that one there?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, perfect. So and I mean, if you haven't tried it, like, definitely go when you can. It's delicious, delicious soup. But it's, like, they always serve it, with a complimentary green tea. And so kinda just eventually learned, like, "Hey, you know what? This is actually pretty good because it's kind of just a mellow flavor, and it's also apparently very good for weight loss, for your metabolism, and just for, your body in general." So I said, okay, and now I'm at the point, I think it's been almost 10 years. I have a green tea with breakfast every morning. So it's just yeah, it's an acquired taste. Like nowadays I'm just like, ah, perfect, a green tea. But when I first tried it, I was like, what the heck is that? So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's definitely something you learn to love. Not like hot chocolate, where it's just like take a sip and you're like, hey, I'm never gonna stop drinking this.
Yeah. I used to have hot chocolate every morning, like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
through high school or, like, college, usually just have a cup of hot cocoa every morning. That was, like, my I stopped doing that because it
That's
was like
fair.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it's just, like I was just like, "Oh, this is not good for me," or just, like, kinda fell out of that routine, but that was, like, my routine. That was, like, cereal or, orange juice every morning with hot cocoa. Just,
Nice.
like, steam up with, like, Nestea, even though that is bad for you too, like,
That's fair.
Nestea
That is
yeah. Like, guys, I like to indulge a nice cup of coffee, and I like it kinda, like, not too hot,
right.
and you always get frustrated when you go to a Dunkin' Donuts and they make it too hot. You wanna drink it right away, and you basically gotta wait because it's like you're gonna burn your tongue, and
No,
it's like, "Yeah,
exactly.
why do you have to brew it that hot? I wanna drink it right away."
Yeah, exactly. Like, this could be, 10 degrees cooler, and it would still be perfectly fine.
Yeah. It's like, I
Oh,
don't get why they wanna turn it too hot, and, like, that's what another thing about McDonald's used to do is, like, they boil it, and then that led
yeah.
to that, I don't remember that
But
case.
yeah, the lawsuit there.
Yeah, but what's crazy about that story, because when I learned about that story is, like, the woman sued for $1,000,000 just because she couldn't handle or hold
The
her
medical
coffee
bills.
problem, but that was a misconception. She just wanted them to cover her medical
Yeah,
payments, and then
exactly.
the coffee shouldn't have been that hot in the first place. It just accidentally spilled, and it, like, gave her, like, severe burns.
Yeah, she had I think it
Off it
was
and
second
there
or
was,
third
like,
degree.
cases before that
Yes. Yeah.
that so that I was definitely thought, like, I did think it was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
this person just is suing for a ridiculous reason," but really it was just like, this lady just happened like, the coffee just spilled on her lap and
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
burned.
no, I was swept
He
into
just
it.
wanted, like, $200,000, but then it
Yeah,
just turned into a different kinda lawsuit where, like, now they failed to pay her, now they're gonna charge him for $1,000,000, and they
yeah.
settled with that, but then it turned into this media frenzy where, um, people turned the narrative that, like, she was the one that was just being greedy and, like,
Oh, yeah.
being
Well,
unfair.
that was McDonald's, right? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
they led a smear campaign because, I mean, what happened was because yeah, this one I actually deep dived into because I, at the time, 100% was like, wow, this stupid lady, like, of course coffee's hot, right? Like, you're in your car and you burn yourself, right? And I feel terrible for that process now, thought process now, because I looked back into it and she was so injured. She needed reconstructive surgery,
Yeah.
like all basically below the waist there. She had second, third degree burns on her legs. And she was actually just sitting in her parked car in the parking lot with the coffee there, like between her legs while she was putting her breakfast on the seat. And the lid popped off and it spilled everywhere. And apparently, before that, McDonald's had, I think, something like 700 different complaints about the coffee being brewed way too hot and that people were constantly burning themselves, their lips, their tongue, etc. And then when she tried to ask them to cover her medical bills because she was an old lady and she didn't have, a lot of money. They basically told her no, so she sued just to cover the cost of the medical bills, and it started picking up wind in the news. So McDonald's flipped the narrative and basically just started making her out to be this, stupid old lady who like burned herself on coffee because of course coffee's hot, and everyone just kind of bought into it. So again, predatory and
Yeah.
at McDonald's.
I mean, it got, some of us fooled, but then you learn, and then you learn about the other side of the story. It's like, "Oh, shoot, I feel bad now."
Yeah, exactly, right? I was just like, "Oh my gosh."
Even though it's like, yeah, McDonald's is not great, but I think that is kinda stupid, but now it's like, no, that just makes McDonald's even look even worse.
Right. Well, and it was the same thing too. I'm sure you probably heard the lawsuits where the kids were getting fat, right? Like, and they were saying, "Oh, McDonald's is making people fat because their food's unhealthy and all that jazz." And people were like, "Well, you're the one eating it, right? So, like, this is your fault." But it came down to it that yeah, this was all they could afford, and yeah, McDonald's wasn't using the best quality products for their foods. So, extra preservatives and all these extra, I hesitate to use chemicals, but like it was all these extra additives that basically made the food unhealthy, right? Like, I mean, everything was processed to such an extent that it was barely chicken anymore. It was barely beef anymore. It was barely bread. It was barely this. There was so much sugar added into everything so that people were like more, are craving it more. That, yeah, there's actually something to be said here that, it's cheap, it's accessible, and everybody wants it because like their bodies are literally craving it because of how much sugar and preservatives and additives there are in there, which is what ended up leading to them, I think, eventually going on that 100% beef campaign. Because it was like, I'm not sure if that was in the States too, but here in Canada, we had a lot of the commercials going around like, now made with 100% Canadian beef. And it was like, well,
Mm.
what the hell was in there before? Like, you know what I mean? So,
Or like, "Oh,
yeah.
this is healthy." Like, "Oh, we're not" like, they went on the everyone was going on that kick, every brand,
Mhm.
like Doritos, like Doritos Zero
Yeah,
uh,
Coke Zero and like no combination.
or even McDonald's, like, there was seemed like that trend of
Mhm.
and it still, like, it was still wasn't healthy for you.
No,
It's like
exactly, 'cause it was just, like, now it's not sugar, now it's sugar adjacent,
yeah.
right? And, like, so you have, like, Splenda and stevia, or not stevia, Splenda and the whatever those other fake sugars are basically, which, I mean, are just as bad, if not worse. But, like, now you get people going, "Oh, well, we don't use sugar." So, it's all trickery, it's all just trying to
Yeah.
get whatever the bottom line is. So, it's 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other, I guess. You either, you know well, no, I'm not sure where I'm going with that one, so never mind. I take that back.
That but I heard, like, the salads at McDonald's have more calories than the
Mhm.
burger, and
Yeah,
that's, like, crazy.
it's the same thing, it's the dressings, yeah.
Yep.
It's they're so chock full of sugars and all this other stuff because that's how they get you coming back. It's like I was saying before, sugar is such that's where I was going. Sugar is such an addictive, thing, like, it's such an addictive, product to consume that, when it's in bread, when it's in the meat, when it's in the sauces and everything like that, you just want like, your body just ends up craving it, and all you're thinking is, "Man, I can go for a Big Mac," or, "Man, I'll go for a salad," and you think, the salad's healthy. It's gotta be healthy. So you eat as much as you can. Yeah.
Yep, and then it just turns out you're just doing the same thing what you normally do with, like, eating a Big Mac or
Yeah.
chicken nuggets and fries, and
Yeah.
that's how they, like, get you. Like,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
of
yeah,
course, they're
exactly.
being like, of course, like, then that kick, "Oh, everyone's worried about being healthy." Well, we'll just promote this. Like,
Yeah.
add some salad. "Oh, it's good for you." Even, like, Subway, like, "Oh, eat this much bread." Like,
Mhm.
it's good for you, but really there was, like, chemicals what they put in rubber into the bread at that time. And
Exactly.
it's so
Exactly.
like I said, like, why are we putting that kinda crap what you would use to put in paint thinner or
Mhm.
cigarettes even, like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like, the crap you use like, I don't know if they're the same stuff in, like, Japan because I guess Japan smokes like a chimney, but they don't have the same health problems we do, is it just because they just don't have the same stuff in their cigarettes as
Yeah.
people in the States? Why are we putting stuff you put in rat poison or tar and just a set and, like, because 'cause you'll hear stories about people smoking natural tobacco,
Yeah, yeah.
don't get these weird side effects, like their teeth turn yellow,
No, exactly.
fingernail like, none of those, like, weird side effects from people who typically smoke here for a long time develop those health issues versus someone who grows their own natural tobacco and
Mhm.
smokes it their entire life and live to be 90, 100 years old,
Yeah.
no health issues.
No, exactly. Like, that was my great-grandfather. Like, he rolled his own cigarettes, and it was just straight dried tobacco leaves. That was it. Like, nothing else in it, and saying like, it was dementia that ended up taking him out, and he was in his 90s. No other health issues.
Mm,
So, it's exactly like you said, there's so many additives in things like cigarettes and things like the food you get at these fast food places that it's just why. Like Japan, yeah, they smoke a lot, but they don't have the same, like they have stricter laws against adding things to cigarettes and being absolutely transparent about what is in cigarettes. Right. So like it's the same I don't know if you ever see the memes on Facebook where it says, oh, look at the ingredient list of a Ritz cracker today and look at the ingredient list of a Ritz cracker, how many years ago. And you'll see like years ago it was like butter, cheese, flour. And then today you've got like sodium, blah, 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 and like all
Yeah.
these, huge chemicals. And it's like, well, the recipe never changed, but your knowledge of it has changed because I think it was in the early 90s. The FDA and several other groups said you have to be honest about what's going into these products. So, and then, that kind of shifted a little bit, but at the same time, these companies spun it that, these are good chemicals, bad chemicals, blah, blah, blah. And you get people going around saying, what's the word I'm looking for here? That you get people looking at it as, it's a bad thing because they've added this, they've added that, and now, everything's got extra chemicals in it. And it's like, no, this is the stuff you were always eating. This is the stuff you were always smoking. You're just more aware of it now. Like there's a reason why, the companies that were producing, like you said, more natural cigarettes that are just tobacco without all the additives, or even producing food that, like the smaller companies that are coming from better farms and better sources, are dying out, is because these bigger companies that do the preservatives and add all this extra stuff are basically just pushing them out of the market by, you know, basically making it cheaper, better, getting them more profits and making it more addictive. So you get this kind of, I think I'm going in circles here, but I'm trying to keep my train of thought. But you get this kind of disconnect, like especially here in North America, because it's like over in Europe and Asia, they've had a lot more. No, they've had like these laws in place, like all of these things in place a lot longer. Like you can't lie about this stuff. But over here, a lot of these companies just get away with it. So that's why, cigarettes all have all these additives. That's why like McDonald's gets away with putting all the extra crap in their foods, like all the restaurants and everything like that. So it really is kind of going back to it before, like a predatory thing. And that kind of just directs us all when we're trying to eat and we're trying to, have food because this is cheap, this is more expensive. So obviously the more expensive stuff gets pushed out and everyone ends up filing towards the cheaper stuff. Like you go for the cheaper cigarettes because they're, made with the preservatives and you're not paying 30 bucks a box, you're paying 15 bucks a box. So it's a little bit where am I going with this? Yeah, it's a little bit sorry, brain's just going a little sideways, but yeah, I think I made my point. So I'll just
Yeah. Well, like yeah, like I said, it's like they just try to find and make it more accessible
Mhm, mhm.
and addictive.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you make more money. Like,
Yeah,
you like,
exactly. Yeah,
you
that's right.
manipulate thinking, "No, you don't need these more natural products," and then
Yeah.
they have no choice but to raise the prices because 'cause they're not getting that getting the profit
Mhm.
and trying to keep up with these bigger corporations, and they just keep on like, "No, no, no."
Yeah, they
So, it's,
can't.
like, about that lack of education to the point where,
Yes. Exactly,
um,
yeah.
uh, like, don't listen to everything that these bigger corporations are telling you because
Yeah.
clearly they're poisoning you.
No, exactly. That's exactly it, right? Like McDonald's lied about the coffee lawsuit. You know what I mean? And cigarettes are like I think I don't know if you smoke, but I know like I don't personally either, but cigarettes I think only started putting warnings on their packages in the last 20 years. And that was because they were forced to. Right? So now like every package comes with a warning on it, usually like a picture of rotting teeth or dying lungs or a bad heart and stuff like that to say like, hey, if you smoke this, it's gonna be bad. But it's so addictive that people look at that, they don't care. And that's all the extra stuff that they put in the cigarettes, right? Like you said, in Japan, they don't have a lot of these health issues, and you get a lot of people who smoke natural cigarettes that they roll themselves. It's because they don't have all that extra stuff in it, and that's what it is. It's the big companies just making it as addictive and as craveable as possible, so that they can basically price everyone else out of the market, get their profits, and keep everyone I hesitate to say, but in line. So, yeah,
Yep.
buying their stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And, if you're aware of it, then obviously and, like, you should, like, can stay away from it. But what's hard is, like, with, like, these, big companies, they take over everything. It's
Mhm.
almost like feel like you can't help but avoid, like, not can't avoid them. For example, like, if some people are not a big fan of, like, Disney,
Mhm.
they own a lot of things, like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they do have a lot of stuff people enjoy.
Yeah.
Like to watch a lot of, good movies or even, like, I'm a big sports guy,
Mhm.
ESPN, they own ESPN.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, there's
Exactly.
no way, like, around it. It's either you just accept it and just, like, whatever. I mean, it's obviously not food, but, like, I'm
No,
just
but
for
it's
example,
the same, it's a
it's just
consumable media. Yeah.
yeah, like, like, they took over a lot of stuff to the point where, like, am I just gonna just stop watching it,
Yeah.
Or, like, Amazon, like, for
Yeah.
example, like, the same thing, like, cheaper prices, and then, people obviously try to be anti-Amazon, but I think even people who don't like Amazon might have splurge on there every now and then
Oh, yeah.
because
100%.
it's
Yeah.
convenient.
It
Like
is.
I say,
It's right to your
it's
door.
they know it's they the thing is that even though that they can be, like, corrupt, but they are at the same time smart, they know what people want. People want stuff right away
Yeah.
or what's accessible. Like, they
Exactly.
don't want, like, sometimes people walk away from the quality versus just the quantity or like how can I get this quicker or and like even if it's not like the best kind of item or the best kind of foods like how can I access this so versus buying something that's going to take you that's going to be more expensive and maybe going to take you days versus let's buy this on Amazon it could be just as good maybe not I don't know but
Yeah. Yeah.
like I
No,
said
you're right.
they it's like we're kind of evolved into even like wanting things quickly
Yes.
you
Yeah,
know
exactly. Everything's instant now, right? So it's all like, I mean, I've seen people order, they're like, "Oh, I feel like getting a pack of Oreos, right? I got a craving for Oreos." So they go on Amazon, you pick same day shipping, and an hour later you've got Oreos at your door. And it's right. I know it's nuts, right? Like you can't even do that with grocery stores. Like that's a 3-4 hour turnaround time, bare minimum, and that depends on the time of the day you order. But it's just with these huge billion-dollar companies, they got you right where they want you. Like they don't care. Like it's they know you're gonna come back and say, okay, I want my Oreos, I want my mountain bike, I want my, obscure puzzle from whatever country. You get it to me in one day for half the price of getting it from the actual manufacturer. So, and that ends up again pricing them out because they're selling their products to Amazon for a fraction of what they're worth. And then eventually they just stop because what's the point? We can't make any money on this. It's not worth it anymore. So it's kind of a huge problem. But like you said, on a level where kind of we're at, what do you do?
yeah
Like, right? Like, it's like, okay, we can boycott, sure, but unless everybody's boycotting or, at least unless you get like a big enough following, it just it doesn't do anything.
yeah
So yeah. It's a little rough, tiny bit
I think
scary.
again, I think it's like, all right, like you have it, but you manage it.
No.
Manage it to the point where you're not consuming it too much, I guess. Or yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Like having it like, going back to the diet thing since we keep going full circle here. I love that. It's basically taking it kind of slower and, trying to yeah, scale down on, what you're doing. So like I have a Prime account. So, big hypocrite over here,
Mm,
but like I have a Prime account that I mostly use for work. So if I have, oh shoot, like this apartment moved out, we provide furnished apartments, I need bed frames. Well, I can try to go to Walmart and hopefully find something that's going to cost me, probably about $200 a piece. Or hey, Amazon's got these ones, they're 99 bucks, they'll be here tomorrow morning. So it's kind of hard, but personally, apart from watching some TV shows on Prime Video, I just kind of try and pull back. And I only, usually purchase what I absolutely need. So whether it's like, oh, hey, there's this specific filter because I have two cats. I have a cat fountain for them because they're spoiled. but, you know, like, I need filters for the fountain. So, you know, of course, I can't find them in the pet stores, but Amazon has them in big boxes and they're cheap. So, okay, fine. You know what I mean? Then, okay, I'll purchase it there. Otherwise, if I can go to the store and get it, I'll go to the store and get it. Like, and I think that's really all we can do right now
Yeah.
until, you know, we get a big uprising and go crazy. So,
Yeah, and you mentioned about, like, streaming, and that's another thing. That's, like, I just remember, like, Netflix kinda, like, pioneering that because they
yeah.
used you remember how Netflix used to be? Like, they used
Oh,
to
yeah.
get DVDs,
Yeah,
get
exactly. Oh
mail,
my god.
and then all of a sudden that you hear about, like, doing, like, a streaming thing where you can stream movies, and it's
Mhm.
not like it was today. You probably mostly was just crappy movies, maybe a good movie here and there,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, like, I don't know when I think probably, like, early teens, they started doing their own series and
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
specials, and it just but like I said, it just seemed like Prime followed that and Hulu
Mhm.
came out, and
Mhm.
I think those were, like, the big 3 back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then 2019 was, like, the start of, like, the streaming boom, like,
Right.
Disney Plus, and then, HBO Max
Oh,
or,
yeah, yeah.
Apple TV
Yeah.
Plus, and then Paramount Plus,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Peacock.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I remember.
Everything, every big strong network just, like, came up with because people it's convenient and cheaper,
Yeah.
but then I always find it I was not, like I usually would rub off my brother-in-law's, Netflix account, but Netflix cracked down hard on the password sharing, so
Oh god,
unfortunately,
yeah.
can't access Netflix as good as I can, but
Mhm.
it's like I said, it's like it's accessible,
Yeah.
right? Like, people don't
Exactly.
wanna pay, but what you find is, like, it just becomes cable and extra steps, then you're
Yeah.
actually paying just as much you were for cable if you have all the streaming services
Right?
or, a little bit more.
No,
So,
exactly, exactly, like, I got
um
lucky, I've got a phone plan that gives me, I think I have Netflix, Disney Plus, and Prime.
yeah,
So, you know what I mean, and I've got that all bundled for, like, 30 bucks.
I do
So, you
do
know.
I got a couple bundles. I do the Disney bundle with Hulu and ESPN
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Plus,
makes sense.
and then Peacock and, Apple TV Plus started a
Oh, I
bundle,
forgot Apple TV, yeah.
and I did do that one. Um, but I usually will use my mom had Prime without even noticing.
Oh,
Like,
really?
she had a Prime account, but she didn't think it came with Prime Video, and so I
Oh,
used
okay.
that.
Yeah,
So I was able to watch stuff on there.
yeah.
But, in general, besides Prime Video and, Netflix, I have everything else.
Fair, fair,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's odd because there's, like, TV shows you'd end up, like, watching. Like, you
Yeah,
like to watch, like, for instance, my first purchase of a streaming service was Paramount Plus,
fair.
because I was watching this show that was originally on CBS,
Mhm,
right? And it's under Paramount, but then they moved exclusively to Paramount Plus.
of course.
I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me," and I was following the show along all like, and I think they presented, like, the first 4 episodes on CBS, and then they decided to move exclusively on Paramount Plus, and I'm like, "You got," and then I caved, and I
Yeah, of
bought
course.
it. And then all of a sudden the next year, I kinda, like, upgraded, like, "Alright, I'm gonna buy Paramount Plus with Showtime,"
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah,
And I had a Disney Plus account, but, like, the parents of the person I worked with autism bought me as a Christmas gift of a Disney Plus subscription,
nice.
so I had that for a year, pretty much for free. Then I
Yeah,
decided to continue it, but add in the Hulu and ESPN Plus bundle, because then I got
fair.
into, like, the whole, "Oh, this is kinda fun, just go and find watch a movie and all that."
Yeah,
And then but then it just ricocheted into like, "Oh, I really wanna watch Ted Lasso. Okay, I'll buy Apple TV Plus." It's like, "Oh, I really wanna watch this show. Oh, okay, I'll buy Peacock. Oh, okay, I'll buy," and I used to rig off HBO Max and Peacock, and then those it was probably my brother's ex's account, but I didn't
mm,
use those anymore, and so I
fair.
decided to buy my own after that because I just like there's certain shows and movies I wanna watch.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I trust me, I hear you. I was in the
Yeah.
same boat, and it was funny because, like your mom, I actually didn't realize I had Prime Video for the longest time because I had signed up for Prime, and I was like, "Okay, cool," because it was like $5 a month. I said, "So, alright, cool, you know, faster shipping, blah, blah, blah." And then, yeah, one day I got an email that said, "Oh, you know, your favorite shows are on Prime Video," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So, it's funny though because I don't like, I'm not a big TV person anymore. I used to love it when it was on cable. But nowadays, there's only a couple shows that I actually watch online, and they're both on Prime. So I have the Disney Plus and I have Netflix, and I mean, personally, I think Netflix has just been churning out garbage lately. To be honest with you, like they had a few really cool, really good movies and shows, like Nimona. I think was the most recent one I really loved. I don't know if you saw that one,
Winona, like,
the animated feature. It's
you
the
mean in Di you mean on Disney? Like,
No,
Winona?
I thought that was on Netflix. I'm pretty sure that was on
It
Netflix.
was on Netflix, but
Well,
I got
maybe they shifted it over, but yeah,
it
no.
shifted over since, like I think
Oh,
it
okay, okay,
is
fair. Yeah,
they
see,
shifted it
that's
over to Disney
yeah,
Plus.
that's how much I pay attention, so there you go.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
but
it's
yeah,
not fair.
but no, I have seen it, it's a good
Yeah.
film.
Yeah, so no, I fell in love with that one, but, like, I just find everything else just feels like this, kind of rom-com garbage, like, trashy novel type adaptation. It seems like anyway, I think anyway, because my mom tries to get me to watch a movie every once in a while, and bless her, but, her taste is
Yeah.
not like mine. But, it's just some of these movies are like, "Wait, okay, so, oh, so he's actually trying to kill her? Oh, okay, but no, but now she's pregnant with this guy's child? But wait, but I thought they were together? But wait, what's happening over here?" So, a lot of, like, jumping around that I'm like, I don't understand. And then just, when they have a good one that actually gets good and you're really invested, it's like, ratings suck, let's cancel it." And I'm like, "It's your most popular show."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of gave up on Netflix after a while, and Disney Plus is when I'm feeling nostalgic because I was a Disney kid growing up. I absolutely loved all those movies from like the Renaissance era, if you will. And every once in a while, if I'm like, you know what, I'm homesick today, I'm gonna watch Aladdin, or I'm gonna watch like The Lion King or something, right? Like
Yeah.
just to get that kind of sense of nostalgia and that warm fuzzy feeling from when I was a kid. So it's apart from that though, I don't actually like bother with any of them anymore because it's just for me, it all feels like a cash grab nowadays. Like when it first started booming in 2019, it had so much potential and there were so many like interesting things popping up, and it was also cool to see like people, that I don't want to say like the average person, but you get people that are putting their projects out there, and there's a lot of good stuff, and then it just kind of became we'll take anything, and then it just yeah, it just started to feel like a cash grab. So, but I'm not into sports, so ESPN does nothing for me. And excuse me, I'm not really into like dramas and period pieces and things like that. So I don't know, maybe my tastes are just bland, but it nowadays it just feels kind of just like a plain old cash grab. So I don't bother with it so much. I mean, if my niece is here, sure, fine, we'll put on Disney Plus, but that's about it. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
essentially.
I'm a big, like, movie show goer, but I just feel like there's just so much to watch, I just can't
Oh,
get into everything.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like or I feel like there's a lot of shows I would like, but
Mhm.
it's like, I just can't commit, like,
Yeah, yeah. Do you watch the if you can't hook me in the first 2 episodes, I'm not gonna bother with the rest. I think it's
or
the best.
even if it is, like, good in the first 2 episodes, it's like, I
Mhm.
don't know, like, for example, like, there was a keep hearing the show Landman was good, really good,
Oh,
and
okay,
I
okay.
I don't doubt it because 'cause I've seen a lot of Taylor Sheridan's shows and
Fair.
but it's like, I don't know, but then finally we decided to cave and binge watch the 1st season before the 2nd season came out,
Yep, yep.
and it was great. Like I said, it's just like trying to commit. Or The Sopranos, like, I've seen
Mm,
some
mm.
episodes and it's really good, but do I wanna commit watching, like, I don't know, how many seasons is it? Like 8? Do I wanna
I think 8 or 9, yeah.
yeah, commit to that, but even though, like, like, my mom even watched it, she liked it, but just that commitment
Yeah,
to
it's a time commitment. It really
yeah,
is because like there's a lot involved with like getting into it. So I do love movies,
yeah.
but I would rather go to a theater. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like I would rather go sit in a theater, have my popcorn and my drink, and watch the big screen and feel my entire body shake with like all the bass and everything like that with
Yeah.
explosions and stuff. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing I love. But I mean, other movies like The Devil Wears Prada too. I went and saw that with a girlfriend of mine there a couple weeks ago, and we were in the theater, and I mean, it was more for her than it was for me. Not like crazy my cup of tea, but I still enjoyed the film. But it was one of those movies where it was like, yeah, I could have been at home enjoying it, right? Like I would rather see like a big action adventure thing over here, or you know what I mean, or even a horror film because it's
Oh,
always
yeah.
fun to really get like jump scared. But
I watched Stephen King's It when it came out in 2017 at a
oh
jam-packed theater.
yeah,
That's even though, like, it was kinda a little bit annoying because some people were getting jump scared over the most ridiculous
oh,
stuff.
yeah, I hate
Like,
that.
and it's not even, like, was the scariest part. Oh, although I was guilty of, like, getting jump scared randomly
Fair,
at
yeah.
a movie called I think it was, like, The Gallows. It was called The Gallows, like, and it was
Was that
about,
the
like
high school?
yeah, and it's
Yeah,
like the guy
yeah,
getting
yeah,
hung, and then
yeah,
there's like guy like it was an empty scene, but the guy who had the camera just jump scared everyone, "Oh," like, but it wasn't even the scariest part, but just saying, like, going watching, like, it with a bunch of
mhm,
people, and then, like, one little thing spooks them, they're like, "Oh, like, that's not you," and it's kinda, like, a
yeah.
little bit of annoying just because, you're trying to, like, watch the in-between
You're trying to
stuff,
get into it. Yeah.
trying to get into it instead of just, like, being like, scared of the least scary parts,
Oh,
because
yeah.
people get easily jump scared, I understand that,
Oh,
but,
yeah. No, that's
like I said, you definitely feel the energy, like,
yeah,
when you have the huge crowd,
yeah.
um,
That's can be fun, but
yeah,
it
that can be
gets yeah, it
but
gets
you know what could be fun? Just watching a scary movie by yourself, or not fun.
that's fun. That honestly, that's yeah, that's
I've done that a couple times. I've done that, like, I watched, oh my god, the most, like, horrible experience, like, the movie Sinister, I don't know if you heard of
oh,
that.
yeah, yeah, I know that one. Yeah,
Yeah, the bogeyman, whatever looking
yeah,
creature,
yeah.
like and it not only that, that movie, even the sequel of that movie, like,
Yeah.
it's disturbing, right?
Yeah, it
'Cause
is.
you get what I'm talking about, like,
Yeah.
the deaths,
Oh,
the
yeah, no, like, all the
secret
footage and
yeah,
the
but
scenery, like, everything is just ugh.
that I watched that movie by myself, and then
Ooh.
that night, I dreamed I was that guy.
Oh, oh
And I was scaring myself, and I woke up like, "Oh my god." It was like, "What?"
oh my god, yeah, oh yeah, I trust me, I love horror, but I also have the most overactive imagination, so I'm definitely the kind of person that's like, sitting there with the blanket like this, and then it's just like all night, I'm like, "What was that? What was that?" And I
Oh
have 2
god.
cats,
Like,
so
there was one time we watched Paranormal Activity. I was, like, with my
mm,
brother, we were with a couple friends, and one of her friends, she was, like, very scared of it, and we just kept picking on her and, like, picking on the fact but I just actually remember, like, watching it, and yeah, there was some creepy stuff, but at the time, you were making fun of it, like,
right, right.
"Oh, yeah," but then we were sleeping, like, and then we were, like at the time, we, like, were, like, hanging out at their camp spot, then we went to our own camp spot, like, a couple miles away, and slept in a tent, and all of a sudden, the movie starts sinking in my head, and then it's like, "You know what? That was actually pretty creepy." I
Yeah,
didn't take the time to think about it at that time, but yeah, a shadow moving through the door or, like, at the like,
the
yeah,
noises
that was pretty
downstairs, the
creepy.
light.
Yeah. No, no, not he's like, if you think about it a lot, that was
Yeah,
pretty, like and then you start feeling like, "Oh god, and I'm sleeping outside in a tent. Oh."
yeah. What was that
Yeah,
out there? Was that a tree? Tell me
yeah.
that was a tree.
But, scary movies, like, it's not for everyone, but I think it's like
Mm.
that adrenaline.
Yes,
You get
yeah, yeah,
it's like, like, ooh, you just wanna, like because I really got into it after watching Insidious.
yeah, yeah, fair.
That is today the scariest movie I've ever watched.
No,
Complete
fair. What would
sh
be the
yeah.
scariest?
What's that?
What would be the scariest you've ever watched, you would say now?
Insidious to
Oh,
this
oh, it is. Sorry, sorry. Okay, I misheard.
like,
Yeah, it
well,
is
and then, like,
scary.
it's like, at the time, like, I mean, I watched some scary movies, but not,
Fair,
like, ever since Insidious, I just feel like I got addicted to wanting to watch that next big scare.
fair,
Like, The
fair.
Conjuring kinda did that for me, like, or all the
Mhm.
Conjuring movies.
Yeah, The
Some were
Conjuring.
good, but Insidious Chapter 1 and 2 were like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah,
the way they were connected. 3, 4, and 5 didn't really do enough for me, I
yeah.
guess, I'd say, but the first 2 were really, really good.
Oh, yeah. No,
It
wholeheartedly
I
agree.
just
No,
think that it was a good combination, like, what really gets me is the screeching violin music in the background,
yeah,
the creepy face, so sometimes creepy looking old ladies don't do it for me.
yeah, fair.
Even though do spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, like, in the second one, you discover that it's not an old lady, it was a cross-dressing spirit of a cross-dressing serial killer
Yes,
who
yes,
was
exactly.
verbally abused from his mom.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like
Yeah, no, that
which is
was
also
like
very creepy. She's very creepy, and I remember the scene where she's, like, talking on the phone and then saying the detective didn't find like, the DNA didn't match her
yeah,
husband,
the handprint didn't match,
the
yeah.
handprinting, but then in the corner, like, in the living room, you see that not the old lady, but the mother, like,
Yeah,
lady sitting in the corner,
yeah,
and
just
then
sitting there like
yeah, I'm getting hair standing up, like, describing that scene,
yeah,
but then all of a sudden you hear like, it goes quiet, then all of a sudden, "Row, Mary had a"
yeah,
or "Row, your boat,"
yes,
whatever, or
yeah,
"Mary had a lamb," and then she's, like, walking across the living room, and then she disappears, and then she just, "I'm like, what the hell?"
yeah, I just slapped her. Oh my god, I
I jump
jumped
scared.
so hard.
But the
Oh,
biggest jump scare, which I absolutely got freaked out, was, like, the demon, the lipstick demon, they call him, like,
mm,
popping behind the guy's head going like this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, "Oh,
Oh,
David, no." Like, I got freaked out, and
oh yeah,
that was, like, the biggest, like, jump scare I've been through, and sometimes, like, when you, like I get caught up in, like, what's top 10 of, like and I saw a video, top 10 jump scares, and that was in the top 10.
yeah. Oh yeah, no,
The
trust me.
number 1 jump scare, which was, not a popular scary movie, was in The Exorcist 3, which
Oh, I know exactly the one you're
you're
talking
talking about where the nurse is
yeah,
looking through
the
the
nurse down the
rooms,
hall.
and then all of a sudden she goes up, and all of a sudden a guy with a white coat goes, and the music, like, yeah, even though yeah, I like, you picture that, it's like, yeah, that is pretty sudden, like
Right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
it throws you because it's just such a quiet scene, but, like, there's this sense of anticipation because the shot's, like, all the way down the hall, and, you're watching her go back and forth, this nurse, and, like, "Okay, shut this off, go over here," and it's just so mundane, but you know something's about to happen, and you feel like it's gonna come at you, and the fact that it's like, "Nope, Imma chop your head off," and just, like, literally just across the
yeah,
way,
yeah.
it's like it shakes you in such a weird way, like, I totally agree. And I never used to like jump scares, I'll be honest, because I love horror. I've grown up watching horror. My first horror movie was Child's Play.
Oh,
Years
yes.
ago. Yeah. So and that was when I was a kid. My mom came out and I was sitting in the living room, in the middle of the night watching this on TV. And my mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching the funny doll." Like, so, but that was like started it. So then Freddy Krueger and Jason
Mhm.
Voorhees and Michael Myers, like I grew up with um, all of those movies, and I absolutely love them, because I love that kind of feeling, that sense of dread that happens. And I didn't actually like jump scares because I didn't like being tricked into being scared, but it's something I've come to appreciate now. So, especially when it's done well. Like I'm assuming you've seen The Ring.
I
The American
haven't
version.
actually.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay, fair. So I mean, it's not a huge spoiler, but I'll keep it vague anyway. But there's this one scene where she's watching this footage. Like she goes to this one location and she's watching this footage, and there's a lighthouse outside. So it's in the middle of the night. The house is dark. And the guy who owns the house is like upstairs asleep or whatever. And she's in the living room and she's watching the footage on the TV, and it just the light keeps kind of coming
Yeah.
around, right? And at one point it goes like behind her, and as the light comes around again, the guy's just standing behind her, but there's
Ugh.
no string, there's no music. It's just, like the light hits it and it's gone. And it's just this moment that's just like, oh my God, she's in danger. Like it just really
Yeah.
gets you. And that was one of my favorite jump scares of all time. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of the overall film, I did like it, but yeah, that one always kind of stuck with me. It was just like, okay, I got you.
No.
So yeah.
But speaking of Lighthouse, do you
Mhm.
remember the movie Darkness Falls?
Yes. Oh my God.
Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
That one, that I watched that as a kid, that freaked me out because it's like, think about it, like, I have to avoid the dark. Like,
Yes.
you have
How
to live in the light forever
how
because
you
this
do
thing
that,
is cursed on you. And
right?
do you think about that? Like, that makes you afraid of the dark because
Oh, yeah.
that is not the safe place.
No, exactly, like, you're not safe in the dark at
It's
all.
perfect because a lot of people are afraid of the dark
Exactly.
because you don't know what's out there, right?
Exactly.
But
Oh, man.
to add into that, like, curse thing, like, that's gonna
Mhm.
come after you because you saw her face
Yeah,
and that you're forever cursed and she's gonna kill you
yeah,
because you saw her and you have to be
exactly.
in the light because that's the only weakness you have.
Yeah.
it's like, I just that did freak me out just because, like, oh, great, I'm not safe in the dark.
Oh, yeah, no, I needed night lights for weeks after that.
I used to have a nightlight because I was petrified of the dark at one point, but thank God I conquered that.
Yeah, no, eventually, yeah.
But, but yeah, that was a pretty, like, clever, like, movie in a sense, like,
Mhm,
it really
mhm.
captures, like, the true fear of, like, everyone being afraid of the dark.
Oh, yeah, no, really, really got that whole thing there, like, and it was the same thing with, The Grudge. Um,
I've seen the 2 and 3, but I didn't actually see the full original.
oh, okay, fair enough. Again, not a spoiler, but, yeah, somebody dies.
But, yeah, like, you go in the house and you're cursed.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But there was one where like she's making her way back home, and she lives in this condo, high rise condo. So she's in the elevator, and the elevator's going up, and it's got windows. So every floor, like you can kind of see the floor, and the little kid there just kind of keeps getting closer to the window on each floor, right? But she doesn't notice. And then she's like in her apartment, and she thinks that her brother has called her, but she buzzes him up, and a second later, he's knocking on her door. So, she opens the door, nobody's there. It's a whole buildup and everything. But then she ends up jumping into bed and pulling the covers up over her head. And that's, something when you're a kid, right? You're like, okay, hide under the covers, you'll be safe. But no. So the grudge there, I can't remember her name, but hi, I'm under the covers with you. Let's go. And it's just this crazy like subversion of this was your safe space as a kid. No, it's not.
Yeah.
So I love it when that kind of stuff happens.
Like, kinda like Freddy Krueger when he drags that kid down the bed, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
right.
blood comes up, like, yeah, like, you're not safe at all.
No,
Even in your
exactly.
dreams, you're
Yeah.
not safe.
You're not safe when you sleep. Like what are you supposed to do if you can't sleep? Because I think the max anyone ever went without sleep was 11 days. And like
Mm,
so you know what I mean? So like how do you beat a villain like that where you can't sleep?
true.
So you know what I mean?
That's
Like a whole other layer. I mean, even as he got goofy in the later films,
yeah.
you know what I mean, and became more of a campy villain, which was still fun, but
Yeah, like,
see,
"Come on, take this, bitch." He's like,
yeah,
"Shit, bitch,
the
yeah."
prime time.
Which
I
is
love that so
like,
much.
again, it's like, I mean, entertainment, but
Yeah.
it becomes cheesy, like the Jason Voorhees movies, they're not scary per se, like, "Oh, he's
No.
gonna kill."
Oh
But,
yeah.
like, the first one was kinda, like, mysterious because, like,
Oh yeah.
before even I knew who the Jason killer was,
Right.
like, in terms of, like, the hockey face, but I honestly was watching expecting to see that in the first
Fair.
film, but
Yeah.
then realized it was the mother it started
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and it was just, like, living through the spirit, and, like, she's just psychotic, but then it turns into the spirit of Jason turns into the girl,
Exactly.
and then but he was wearing a bag first and not
Yes. Yeah.
the
The first
hockey
the
mat.
first
Like, the
film.
second one, he was wearing just this, like, messy bag, and then he
Yeah.
moves to a hockey mask,
Yeah.
which became the signature,
The signature
killer
look
we know
for him. Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But, again, that took time.
Mhm.
But Michael Myers, and it's funny because I was just talking about scary movies with one of my student athletes, and then I always say, like, the Michael Myers one is, like, kinda spooky just because there was no purpose
Yeah.
behind Myers. Except
Exactly.
maybe, like, the Rob Zombie version where, like, he got picked on, he's just mentally, but it
Yeah.
seemed like the, like, first film, like, he seemed like he came from a normal family
Yeah.
and all that, and he just
Just
randomly just
spot a
killed
kid.
his sister as a
Yeah.
six-year-old, no reason,
Yeah.
and, of course, they had these crappy spin-offs that turned out they kinda, like, threw that storyline away and
I
just
hate oh my god.
for,
Yeah.
like, the latest ones that were made.
Yeah, exactly. So, I
But
mean, although those
but
were good, but yeah.
overall, there was, like, no purpose. It was just like he was just evil,
Yeah,
right?
there was no reason exactly, he was just pure evil, like, that was it. Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, for the most part, I think for, Jason Voorhees, it was revenge, right? Like, he wanted revenge for his mom's death because his
And
mom wanted
also being
revenge.
drowned because
Yeah.
the teenagers weren't paying attention.
Exactly. So she wanted revenge for his death against these teenagers that let him die. And then when the one killed her, then now he's like, "Okay, my turn." And then Freddy Krueger. I mean, he was a bad guy. Like I know in the
But
original series, he was a child murderer, and then I believe they changed it to child molester for the reboot there with Jackie Earl Haley.
oh,
Um,
yeah, the 2010,
yeah, yeah.
and that
Not
wasn't
like
right. Yeah.
that movie had its moments, and truth be told, I liked his performance, Like, I didn't actually think he did that bad. I think just the movie itself and the subject itself, like, just didn't really all come together very
Mhm.
well. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so, like, that was the thing, but I mean, Robert Englund will always be
Mhm.
Freddy,
Yeah.
right? So, but yeah, so, he was a bad guy, but it was the same thing. He wanted revenge because, all the parents basically got together and burned him alive. Right, and then it was the same thing for, like, for Chucky, I mean, again, a bad guy,
Okay, yep.
but he wanted revenge for getting killed, so now he's like, "Okay, cool, I'm a killer doll now, why not?" And even that one went off the rails. I don't know if you watched the show or the later reboot film or
I watched the reboot film,
Yeah,
which is it, I liked it overall.
I loved them, I thought they were great,
It
yeah.
was Mark Hamill that, like,
Yeah.
voiced the Chucky,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
that's
a
right, yeah.
creepy song, "You are my
Yeah,
buddy." Like,
yeah,
oh
like, "Oh."
god, creepy.
Yeah, that was a little like, "Oh, okay, I gotcha. Alright." But yeah, no, the ones I was thinking of too was or I guess they were technically sequels, not reboots. They were with, I can't remember her name now, but, with the woman in the wheelchair, those 2 films there, she ends up in a mental hospital because everyone thinks that she killed her family somehow, even though she can't walk and everybody died upstairs. But right? So, like, there was that whole thing, and then the second one, they had Jennifer Tilly back in it there, and they had the Tiffany doll and, like, all the Bride of Chucky stuff and everything, and it was just, like, a fun kind of, play on it, and I think that's where the TV series picked up
Mhm.
was from, like, that kind of continuity. So, because they mention Chucky mentions at one point that he has a non-binary child,
Okay.
like, and the kid he's talking to is like, "Oh, really?" He's like, you know, I'm a killer, like, I'm not a monster." Like, right? Right? He's like, "You're fine with that?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not a monster."
Oh my god.
But that's what I love is that, like, when horror can be scary, but also fun. You know what I mean? And, like, I love a good campy villain like that, but I also love when, like, that horror gives you that real sense of dread. Like, I don't know if you've seen any of Ari Aster's films.
Which
Um,
ones?
Hereditary,
Well, yeah, Hereditary, what else?
so Midsommar, The Lighthouse.
Midsummer, yes, I watched
Yes.
that one.
Ooh, God.
That one got to me, that
Yeah,
I watched the trailer for that, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know," but then I gave it a shot, and I was like, "Oh, yep, that
yeah.
was pretty dark."
Oh, that was the freakiest mind freak to not swear that like you know what I mean?
Mm.
It was like because I remember there was so many subtle details that really just made you feel terrible. Like for example, when they're walking down the path, in the background in the trees, you can actually like the
See the
trees
face?
actually form the face, yeah, with
Yeah.
the mask that her sister wore, and it's like okay, thanks. Like, you know what I mean? 'Cause the whole buildup for the whole film, and especially, the boyfriend there too, like, every person in it was just, like, utterly perfect, and it just really, like, gave this feeling of, like, doom, I guess, like, even right from the beginning, like, one of the guys that's greeting them looks at her and tells her, "Welcome home." He tells everyone else, "Welcome," but he tells her, "Welcome home," and gives her a hug. Right? So it's like from the beginning, they were planning
Oh,
on integrating her into the community. And it was
because
like they
she was
knew
the one being hurt.
exactly, like they knew she was the one that was broken, so she would be the most likely to just basically join. Everyone else was sacrificed. Like they knew
Yeah.
immediately. Because there was what's his name there that brought them there, right? So like that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, and he
So
said something like, "I'm glad you're coming on this trip." That's
yeah,
what he said,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, and he's, like, celebrates her birthday and everything, and he draws her, like, a picture, and he even kisses her, like, when she becomes the flower queen or whatever it was,
Mhm.
he actually, like, full on kisses her, and it's literally just, like, the whole thing was, like, yeah, she's basically here to be his bride now and to be integrated into the community, and everyone else is completely screwed. So
Yeah. Especially her boyfriend where the girl was hitting on her,
oh, yeah.
and then they drugged him, but then he ended up,
Yeah.
doing it with, like, the woman all around them, like,
Yeah. Oh,
and then she sees it and she's crying, but they, like, feel what she's feeling, so
yes.
they
Yeah.
tell her, like, because she like you said, when she's, like, feeling, like, unwell, it just seems like her boyfriend or his friends just don't care.
Yeah,
Like, they're
exactly.
just like, they would feel like I
Exactly.
said, he was about to break up with her,
Yeah.
but then her sister died, so he feels like he's still but he doesn't care enough, and they
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
and it's just
exactly.
almost like it's almost like they got what was coming to them, even though that it's pretty extreme, like, I don't think
Oh,
it
no, 100%. Like, it's
but
definitely supposed to be a feel good ending, for her, right? Because like, even though she smiles, it's like, "No, you're indoctrinated into a cult, and you're completely screwed." But
yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's
yeah,
funny you say that 'cause, there's another subtle detail where I think his name is Christian. Yeah, Christian Danny, I think. He says, they ask, "How long have you been together?" And he says, 2.5 years, and she says, "No, it's been 3 years." Because for him, the relationship ended 6 months ago when he was planning on breaking up with her, and now he's just going through the motion. So, like, it's all those little details
yeah,
that just really sell the whole thing. I love it.
yeah, just to show them and then also forgetting her birthday, and then
Yeah,
and the reason
yeah.
why you celebrate because the guy
The other
got
guy,
pulled
yeah.
him in, saying, "Hey, it's your girlfriend's birthday."
Yeah, you might wanna do something.
Yeah.
But it just shows even more distance between them because, "Hey, here I am. I remembered your birthday. Here's a drawing I made for you." And, it makes her even more aware of how much he just doesn't care. So, like, yeah, and then to bring it all up to the ending, of course, she's like, "Yeah, him, go." You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
at this point, she's basically, like, seeing, what a bad person he is, even though, like, realistically, he just didn't wanna be in a relationship with her anymore, but didn't feel like he could break up with her after what happened. So, like,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
then
he's
he
not
gets
a bad
punished for
guy,
it by being sewed into a bear and get
right? Like,
drugged.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
like,
That's
okay.
gotta be the worst feeling, just like that you can't do anything. You're like
Yeah,
you're a sitting duck, you can't and then you're getting like they're gonna do
exactly.
whatever they want with you,
Yeah,
and you're gonna sit there and you can't move, and the worst way to go is, like, getting burned alive.
exactly. It's just,
Yeah.
oh god.
But see, that movie was just really dark and Heredity, like, I had to kinda
Yeah.
understand what was going on, like, I had to research it. It was
Fair.
creepy, I was curious, but, like, what was the purpose? Like, did they just want that girl to be in a boy's body, right?
Yes. Yeah,
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 that was the whole
exactly.
point, but I don't get, like, why was there the nudity at the end, but it was creepy because
Yeah,
it was like the dark shadow, like, and they're coming in, they're, like, smiling, like, "Ugh," and
yeah,
then, like and he sees that and he jumps out of the window, but then he dies, and then the soul of his sister goes into his body.
yeah. Because now
It
he's
was just
broken.
yeah, and now it's like, yeah, that's but it was weird. It was definitely like one of those movies where it says like it didn't rely on jump scares, but just
Yes.
like the curiosity or
Yeah. That
like
sense of
what's going on.
yeah, exactly. Oh my god, the scene that I know you know what I'm talking about, but they're driving back from the party.
Yeah,
Like,
and she's
oh god.
decapitated.
Oh my god. Like, honestly, I was watching that with my mom, and it was the middle of the day, and everything was fine, and we're like, "This movie's really good so far." And then it's like they're rushing back and sees the deer carcass and swerves, and then it's just the and I my mom and I both, like, jumped, and we screamed, and we had to pause the movie for a minute because we had to, like, calm down.
Jesus.
Right, oh my god. But yeah, again, the acting in that film was just incredible. Like, I just Tony Collette just holy, like, that whole dinner scene, like, it really like because it makes it so much easier to relate to it, like, and you feel more of the horror that they're feeling because this is just a regular family dealing with a horrific tragedy, and on top of it, there's an entire cult of people trying to raise a demon in their family and get them to basically bring it into the world so they could be rich. Like, it's just,
Mm,
ooh, it's a heavy, heavy thing that just, like, feels so much worse because you feel like these are real people. And it's so hard to get that in a good horror film or in a horror film in general. So, like, I've been loving his work lately, and I'm super excited because I think he has another one coming out soon, that I'm gonna have to check out. I just can't remember what it's called. But
like,
yeah,
how many movies did he direct? I feel like he did more than
he did The Witch,
oh,
Hereditary.
The Witch. No, the same guy does The Witch,
Oh,
The
yeah.
Lighthouse.
Yes, The Lighthouse, yeah, that was the
I've
other one.
seen, The Northman, and then he did Nosferatu, which I watched all of those.
Yeah, I didn't see Nosferatu or The Northman, but those are on my list to watch.
Yeah,
Um,
Northman's pretty good. It's not spooky, but
no, eh?
it's like a Viking, like, there's some creep stuff to it, like,
Yeah.
but not in a horror way, but it's like a story of revenge, pretty
Gotcha,
much.
gotcha,
But
gotcha,
then
yeah,
there is some sort of twist at the end that's just like, "Ooh," but
yeah.
And
Okay,
then I
yeah,
kinda
no,
like the
okay, well,
Viking, like, lore, like, the geez, like, Vikings were brutal back then, but
yeah, oh, yeah,
it's a good one, but Nosferatu was pretty good. I'm not into huge vampire films, but that was a pretty good
yeah,
as well.
okay. No, I'll have to give that one a look. Yeah, it's
But
definitely on
the
my list.
but the Witch was definitely like because The Witch was the last thing I saw because I realized, "Alright, this guy's got some things
Good
figured
stuff,
out."
yeah.
But The Witch was like and I had to understand it a little bit more, but there was a lot of religion meaning behind it.
Yes, yeah,
Like, the sins, right? The boy had lust, as
yes,
in and the dad had pride,
yeah, yeah,
and there's a metaphorical when he gets, like, shoved by the goat and then a wood pile falls on him, that's the symbolize of pride falling right onto him.
yes, yeah, exactly,
Exact
yeah,
so
yeah,
I learned that in, like, a video a bit. Did this woman knew she was a witch? The girl knew she was a witch the whole time, or it's just like,
mm,
"Screw it." Like,
yeah,
like and that's probably why they picked her or, like, they lent her to the witch because she's, like, the one that was the most sane. Like, you got 2
yeah,
little like, brats as younger siblings, they were,
yeah,
kinda like and then you had a son that just, like, he was looking at her side boob, and
yes,
the yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and then
exactly.
you had a mom that was just, with very like, I don't know what her she represent, but she was, like, very, like, mean, like,
Yeah, yeah,
really
she was definitely, like, mean, and there was a whole symbolism to, like, all of them, and I know the daughter being the age that she was too, it was like a prime thing because a lot of it is also, like, becoming a woman
mm,
and, how that's kind of, like, sinful in a lot of ways, especially, like, back then, and especially an unmarried woman, and now that this family's been exiled, she'll never be married, so she's especially sinful, and it was just kind of, break down the rest of the family, and she has nothing and no one and nowhere to go. So, okay, come into the fold now, and you can dance naked with the other ladies here that we took. So,
well, yeah, I didn't think
yeah.
of it that way, but yeah, and then, like, also where they live represents the Garden Eden, and the father did
Oh,
something
yeah.
right, and then that's what something that also, like, when I, like, understand the meaning of that movie just because I
Yeah.
wanna get it more is like, oh, yeah, like, you did something bad, you're banned from the Garden Eden, the your safe
Yeah.
passage, now you're out there being thrown into where there's a witch that's
Yeah.
trying to, like,
Yeah.
kill everyone and then, like, possess the daughter or, like,
Yeah.
lure the daughter in, and that's how the movie
Yeah, there's
ends.
no
It's
more.
like, she, like, really free or she just like you said, she don't give a okay.
Well, exactly it. I mean, it's the same as Midsommar, right? Like she feels free because she's no longer trapped by her old life, but now she's trapped in a new life. Like she's
Yeah.
trapped in a new thing because it's like, sure, you're free, but you're gonna have to, kill babies and sacrifice people and like do all this stuff now if you want to keep this up. Otherwise, your soul's basically done. Like is kind of there's a YouTuber named Foundflix who does explainer videos on like different movies. So like the one oh I can't remember what it's called now, but and I can't even remember the main character's the actress's name, but it's this girl who goes to Los Angeles to become a model, and she's got like the it factor and the it everything, you know what I mean? So she's this like basically like this almost heavenly kind of beauty, and everyone's like you're perfect, like it's almost magical, and she gets taken under the wing of these three um two models and then one mortician. And the mortician is actually a witch, and she basically casts a spell that to basically bring her into the fold. But they end up killing her and consuming her so that they can live forever, and the two models can take her beauty. So
Whoa.
right. So when I first watched the film, it was like you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what's going on here. But yeah, after watching it with Foundflix, he has a way of explaining everything that's just like perfectly, like that just really makes everything make sense. So if there's ever a movie you're watching that you're not 100%, Foundflix, and he'll get you like the whole explanation and makes it all make sense. So I actually didn't like the movie when I first watched it because it just went right over my head. But then I watched his video, went back and watched it again. I was like, that's brilliant. It took me a minute
But
there.
like, when there's, like, meaning behind it, because like,
Exactly.
I do that for some films, like, 2 of, Jordan Peele's movies,
Yes.
like Us and No.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
really
Oh,
I didn't I mean, I got like, the reason why I didn't research Get Out because I got the gist of that.
Yeah, yeah, fair, fair.
Like, I mean, I think it has something to do with, like, the racial thing, and
Mhm,
but
mhm.
Us had some religious meaning behind it, and Nope was, like, more like taming an animal, right? And that's what
Yes.
the purpose of the chimpanzee was in the beginning,
Yeah,
was
exactly.
and the boy who survived it thought, "Oh, he didn't kill me because like, it respected me." And
I'm
that's what he was
special, yeah.
trying to do with the alien, which I thought was an alien ship, but that was the alien itself.
That twist just blew my mind.
But
Like,
that disturbing part when it sucked people up and that was disturbing.
yeah, it really was. Oh my gosh, that whole scene. And then later when it was just like because you can hear the people screaming,
Yeah.
as the thing's flying through the air. And then when it like basically dumps everything on the house, there's that like moment where it's just the screaming and then it stops. And then it's just blood. And it's like, oh, they've been alive in there this whole time. Okay. But it's that you know what I mean? It's that sense of dread, like, going back to it, like, it's hilarious that a comic actor like Jordan Peele
Yeah.
basically went, "Hey, guess what? I'm gonna terrify all of you with this, like, with these incredible films." Because like, I loved Get Out. I thought that was brilliant.
Mhm,
Um, Us, I was like, I did like it. I still liked it. The part at the end with the exposition dump kind of, like, took me out a little bit because I thought it
mhm,
went just a little too long, but otherwise, I love the film, and then again with Nope, it was just like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Especially when you watch again and you realize the beginning of the movie, the opening credits, you're in the creature, like, that's literally the mouth of the creature, like, the eye of it there.
mhm,
So, like, you're seeing what this thing is as soon as the movie starts, and you have no idea. So, it's
mhm.
just a lot of great symbolism, a lot of great imagery that really, really works. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you see, like, a lot of comedians and even YouTubers I've heard
Mhm.
thinking, have you ever heard the people that did Raka Raka?
You know, I no, I have not actually.
Well, if you look up their videos, they do a lot of it's a if you watch their videos,
Mhm.
and then you watch their horror films they made, I think they directed Talk to Me and Bring Her Back.
Oh, okay.
They directed those 2 movies, and if you watch their movies, you'll be like, "How the hell did they direct these disturbing masterpieces?"
Right?
Because well, their videos are entertaining,
Yeah.
but they most of it is just like, and because they would grow up being pranksters and doing, stunts and all that get them hurt, and then they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
take
yeah.
these videos where, like, they would do a lot of Ronald McDonald videos where they make Ronald McDonald being a psychotic person or, like, running down the Hamburglar and just beat the crap out of him with a rock and kill him,
Okay.
or, they do a Cookie Monster episode where some guy's trying to do, "Whose cookies are these? What? Whose cookies are these? I can't hear you." God, and he takes a cookie, and then all of a sudden the Cookie Monster's like, "Cookie," and just tackles everyone, and it just starts terrorizing. And then, like and then at the end, like, he flips over a car, and then the guy's trapped underneath, but he's trying to hide, and the Cookie Monster's like, "Cookie, cookie, cookie, cookie," and he's like but then he takes out a cookie, and he's all bloody, but he eats it, but then the Cookie Monster grabs him and just but videos like that where
Yeah.
like, how and then they just stopped, and some reason they got into the horror film and they directed Talk to Me, and
Yeah,
then
I love that movie.
they directed Bring Her Back, which Bring Her Back was like, oh god, like, oh.
Yeah.
You watched that one? Yeah.
I've seen the trailer and I saw a couple
Yeah,
clips.
but there was some disturbing
Yeah, yeah, I heard. I'm nervous.
yeah, I was like, "Oh god," like, I think it was more disturbing than scary, but it's, like,
Fair.
still, like, guys, like, if you like I said, if you watch these guys and even watch them in interviews, they're like, how could these guys function enough to direct these, like,
Right? Oh,
movies
yeah.
that end up loving? And I heard
Mhm.
that that new Backrooms,
Yes.
trail is
Yeah.
directed by, I think, a video content creator, I think.
Yes.
Guy
Yes.
I think that's, why I saw in a post, there's a trend, like, all these YouTube creators are now transitioning into making horror films, or
Yeah.
they descended to there, and then they're just, like, some reason it's, like, hitting people more than
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like Markiplier. He just came out with Iron Lung. right? Which so that was a movie based off the game of the same name. I don't know if you heard of the game or the any of that, but it's this horror game where it's you're on this like strange dimension in a strange dimension where you sink down in a submarine to basically get to the bottom of what is effectively an ocean full of blood. And I think it was based off an SCP file. But the whole thing is that there's these, strange creatures, structures, etc. So you're in this submarine and you can't get out of it. So you have a little window, you can take pictures, and you just basically, move forward, move sideways. You're trying to find your way out. You're trying to find this, trying to find that, and you get the lore. And of course, at the end, like you basically get eaten and killed. And it's the jump scares and everything. But he fell in love with that game and actually spent a few years turning it into a movie. And the movie actually became incredibly popular. He not only made his money back, but like actually made like quite a few million on it. And it actually like opened up quite a thing. Oh my God, okay. Sorry, I just realized the time. But yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just like, oh shoot, I have someone coming over in like 10 minutes.
Oh, it's fine.
But yeah, so anyway, no, it was a great. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm super excited because I followed Markiplier for years, um, and I love his content and everything. But the yeah, no, the movie, like it's like you said, you're getting so many of these people that are coming out, like video content creators and comedians that are switching genres and switching subjects and everything to do these incredible pieces, right? Like Jordan Peele did, Get Out and Nope and everything, and Markiplier did Iron Lung, the Backrooms movie. It's awesome to see. Like it's really really cool to see because they really understand the genre, I think, better than a lot of directors nowadays do. Because you get so many sloppy horror movies that come out and feel like they were just slapped together to make a profit. And, having these movies come out where it's like, almost a love letter to people who grew up with horror and who actually love horror and really enjoy the feelings of dread and despair and loneliness, etc., that they get from watching it. It's just fantastic to see. So yeah, that's my two
Yeah.
cents.
No, you gotta appreciate, like, not, like, just the jump scare, but, like, the meanings and,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
the the purpose of it. It's like
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
not just the entertainment, but, like, the curiosity.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
100%.
But
You're right.
for example, like, before you have to go, like, like, a lot of horror movies, like, for instance, like, Long Legs, right? And
Yes,
that
yeah,
grasped you, right? But for some reason, that movie kinda disappointed me because I was looking for that clever, like, "How's this guy doing this?" Right?
sure.
And don't get
Yeah,
me Nicolas
sure.
Cage was a really good at acting
Mhm, mhm.
that creep. Yeah, in the beginning of the movie, it got me hooked 'cause he's, like, behind the house going, "Woohoo."
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, "There's a birthday girl." It's like, "Oh god, this is starting off to be a creepy movie," but, you were curious, right?
Yeah,
To see how he was pulling this off, and then I just feel like they did this, like, lazy writing where it just like, "Oh, it's supernatural." Like,
yeah, yeah,
that's all it is? Alright, never mind. Okay,
yeah.
it wasn't as, like, clever as, like, 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 you were just looking for that, "Oh, how is he doing this? Or what they're gonna come up
Mhm.
with," and it's almost like they maybe were trying to think of something like, "Yeah, I'll just say it was supernatural.
Yeah, forget it needs a ghost.
He's just doing the devil's work." I'm like,
Yeah,
okay. I mean, that's all." But
yeah. Well, yeah, okay, so I was saying before I go, but, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, have you ever seen that one?
I have not.
Solid, solid film. I think you would love it. It's such a great movie. It's follows a father-son mortician duo in their shop, and they get this body late at night. They basically the police found a house that was full of dead bodies, all the entire family in there, it's just completely eviscerated. And then in the basement, half buried in the ground, they find this dead woman's body, but she's like immaculate and they're just they're confused because everyone else is utterly eviscerated and this woman's just half buried in the basement just looking like she needs a tan. So it's they bring her in and they decide to do the autopsy that night. And of course everything slowly starts going sideways, so like I won't ruin it. I will admit that the twist was disappointing, might be a heavy word, but kind of in that area. But the overall film, the atmosphere, like the scares, everything, I thought was just so well done. Like all the buildup and everything just really, really kind of gets you like going. And it's just very like tense and really, really fun to watch. So definitely recommend if you're looking for something to watch.
Alright, I might check it out then. Like, I'm always
Perfect.
looking for some new things to watch, but
Right?
yeah. Alright. Well, thank you for being on here, and I would
Yeah.
love to have you on here again if
Yeah.
you
I
wanted
would
to.
love to.
So, yeah, but, you know, thank
100%.
you for volunteering, and, actually, you are the one who you have so far have the longest recording podcast so far.
There you go.
So no, it's good 'cause, my longest one was, like, just a little bit over 2 hours, and I think this is about 2:15 or a little bit over, so
There you go. That's crazy.
congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, well, I appreciate you, Sam, and then
Yeah.
good luck with your voiceover endeavors, and, hope to
Thank
talk to
you.
you
You as
soon.
well. Absolutely. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Right, you too. Bye.